And we are racing here in Singapore. The conditions are as challenging as it gets. A water temperature of 30.3 degrees and an air temperature of 34.7 degrees. This is going to be as brutal and unrelenting as it gets for these athletes. I'm Matt Baker, and alongside me for this one is the 2018 World Triathlon Champion and Olympic and Commonwealth Games medalist, Vicky Holland. Vicky, the T100 is back, and what a location to kick things off.
Oh, Matt, I was sat here as we were doing those call-outs and I was getting goosebumps all over me watching the athletes come down to the start. It is so good to be back, and what a location for it. We've got to start by saying that we're just barely 100 metres into the swim, and already look how far that's strung out. The athlete nearest to camera leading that line is Jess Learmonth, and on the other side is Lucy Charles-Barclay. No surprise at all to see it be those two athletes leading, and I'm sure they're going to make it really hard for the other girls from the very, very first moments. So interestingly there, Flora was talking about trying to get away from the likes of Julie Deron, but right now, the athlete right on her feet is Julie Deron. So that's been a fantastic swim for her.
So they make their way onto the Aussie exit, and yeah, trying to get out as smoothly as possible, not moving all that quickly, because they are, as you would imagine, their heart rate is going to be super high at this point.
That's right, so it was Julie Deron, I think, who made that pack, and I actually also noticed, and that's actually Gentle just jumping in right at the back of that pack, so that is the full pack there. And I noticed that Jess Learmonth took a good look around, and I think she was incredibly surprised to see how many people were there, because she actually said a couple of words to Lucy Charles-Barclay. I didn't catch exactly what they were, but it was definitely surprised to see how many people were there. As we see Julie Deron just moving up past Flora Duffy, as we say, this is a phenomenal swim from Julie Deron. So you really want to sit right on someone's feet, your hand be almost touching their toes as you go into the water.
All right, as they exit the De Boer swim course, they are making their way onto the Aussie exit and out onto the pontoon, and they will try and get their swim skins off as quickly as possible, because you do not want to be running in these amount of layers in this heat.
Yeah, we just saw Julie Deron run past Lucy Charles-Barclay, so she's going to be on a big, big high right now. Jess Learmonth already pouring water over herself as she heads into transition, trying to take on some fluids. Julie Deron right on her heels. Lucy Charles-Barclay in third. Kate Woff there in fourth. And it was Taylor Spivey just coming up the ramp behind her in the purple hat. We'll have a little bit of a gap back to Flora Duffy before we see the rest of our athletes.
Absolutely. So they make their way past the cheering crowds, which is great to see here in Singapore, onto the blue carpet.
In third, we've got Kate Woff, and last, I didn't see Lucy Charles-Barclay here, just putting the ice over her head, something that Sam Laidlow actually invented, getting their swim skin off. You can see they're already struggling under the heat. Taylor Spivey coming in right here. She is just on the tail end, but looks to have a good transition. Choosing to put on her socks first, which is an interesting technique that obviously saves her time in the second transition. And Flora Duffy struggling early on. We did not expect her to be in this position. I mean, again, this is their marginal positions, but this is certainly the biggest pack we've ever seen in T1.
Unless they're overtaking, a bit like Lucy Charles-Barclay is doing now. And you can see the red light flashing there on the back of Julie Deron's bike, indicating she's in the draft zone. She's got 45 seconds to make the pass, and she does it.
And that's why now it is Lucy Charles-Barclay's flashing light that has gone on, because Julie Deron is still within that draft zone, but she has 45 seconds to make sure that she drops back far enough so that she is then not in the draft zone.
Ah, looks like maybe an accident.
Yeah, that's not ideal. Is that Mintu there? Number 20. So yes, that is Mintu Hooker. Oh no, we were so excited to see her race after getting back into racing after such an awful time in 2024 with that devastating car crash that nearly ended her entire career. But the way she's holding her leg there, that would indicate it's more of a cramping issue rather than a crash. I can't see at the moment any broken skin on her. So that's making me think that maybe she's just trying to stretch out some cramp. And that is something that happens in these really hot conditions if you haven't got your fueling right. Ashley Gentle has gone past Julie Deron, and that's really important for how this race could pan out. Those two athletes seem to be incredibly similar on the run at the back end of last season, running really, really similar times. Julie Duron having the better of Ashley once or twice, but Ashley probably being slightly more consistent overall. So now we're in a situation where Ashley is in front of her, and that is another athlete there just going past Julie Duron. I can't quite get eyes on who that is right now. If our pylon is correct, that will be Lisa Pertera. Now it's flashing. That means that she has entered into that draft zone, so we could be about to see an overtake. There we go, Hannah Berry just coming through now. So that was why the light was flashing on the back of Julie Duron's bike. And now that light flashes on the back of Hannah Berry's bike just to show that Julie Duron is currently within that 20-metre draft zone.
Speaking of nutrition, we've got some footage of Jess Learmonth dropping her bottle, I believe. Let's have a look at this. Now looks like it's fallen off accidentally.
Oh.
She didn't go over a bump though, did she?
Strong race so far, doing well ahead of Ash Gentle. I think that's quite remarkable.
That was Flora, I think, just on the side of the road there. So Flora, we spoke about not having the race that she would want at this point, and obviously definitely not having that race now as she's on the side of the course. So we haven't got any confirmation of a official DNF, but being stood on the side of the course is not great.
So we can definitely see an increase in the rain. I probably slightly commentator's curse there when I said we haven't had too much rain. You can hear it on the mic of the camera, and you can definitely see it on the road as well.
Oh, as we're just seeing India Lee on the side of the road, she's having some ice, I believe, put down her suit there.
Singapore not proving lucky for her.
Not at all, is it? No, this is never nice to see an athlete sat with head on hands on the side of the course. She said the motorbike's hot.
So our leader, Jess Learmonth, makes her way into the transition zone.
No mistakes.
Again, we got a little bit of commentary from Jess there as her feet hit the floor. That's just so normal. Cramping, she's saying to someone on the side there, so I think she's probably just starting to feel a little bit sore and tight.
And Kate coming in as well, just off her heels. The distance tells me that she was actually pacing her own race, right? Because she was never close, but she does look a lot more dynamic coming into the transition spot. Just actually having to stand up there thanks to a cramp, I would assume. She seems to have one in her abdominals, and just really trying to manage the workload, and almost feels like Kate has made it in 20 seconds just in transition. Oh, another cramp. Yeah, she's cramping everywhere. Oh, poor thing.
Oh, it's horrible to see. Hopefully it's just a temporary thing while she's bending over to put her shoes on. But Kate Woff takes the lead here in Singapore. She's overtaken Jess Learmonth in the transition area, and she will begin this 18-kilometre run in the lead.
Well, we made her our favourite, didn't we? But we didn't probably expect her to do it right out of T2. And she looked so much smoother and in control through T2. She clearly wasn't struggling with any of those cramps that Jess seemed to be almost feeling them everywhere in her body. And as I said earlier, I know Jess has had a little bit of a problem with her calf, so her run's been a bit unknown to her. She hasn't done much running at all in the build-up to this race, trying to just save herself to get out on the course and get through it.
As we see Kate going through the special needs again, getting her own things. And that was the end of the litter zone. Oh no, hang on, that was the bin. This is the end of the litter zone. So it's a very tight area for you to actually consume and then get rid of a bottle. She's looking around. I think she's being smart right now by actually taking a second to slow down. And it's quite a change of intensity, because you could never do that at an Olympic distance race, right? The depth is just so much greater, or let's just say that the difference is that much tighter over a much shorter race. And we're getting shots of Lisa Pertera.
She's taking on everything she can, stopping to get hers, and
Jess struggling, and this is what we were saying. She's had about 3 minutes that she's lost down here.
So Pertera
have the will to find.
That is the face and the body language of someone who is nearly beaten.
A replay here. I think we know where this is going. Oh, in the bin.
Slam dunk.
She seemed a little bit annoyed there.
Yeah.
But
Just hoping she's not having, you know, some real heat episode here. I mean, she's not looking very stable on her feet. She's looking a bit wobbly. So I'm hoping there are people out there keeping their eyes on her. She's drifting right over to the barriers there, really slowing down to douse herself with some fluids. But
And that's Lucy Charles-Barclay just overtaking Jess there. Which
that's right, puts Jess into fourth as Lucy Charles-Barclay goes up into third. Now she is moving again through the field, and there we go, Ashley Gentle just making the pass on. Oh, Jess Learmonth, and just looked like she was about to stop, but she sort of carried on again. She
felt
still,
the heat of the motorbike coming.
oh yeah, she'll be telling that motorbike to get away from her, I think. But yeah, there we go, another little stopping moment.
Stop. I mean, just put us, and sunglasses off. I mean, just put us in the mindset though of Jess now. She's worked so hard to get to this point. She'll be wanting to finish, won't she? So desperately, but her body perhaps is telling her no.
Could really close that gap over this last lap.
Well, these are vital points, aren't they, in the race to Qatar? If you're Lucy Charles-Barclay and you get a third place here, that could be absolutely invaluable later on in the season. We know that they've got to race 5 races this year. You see Lucy, a bit like Kate Woff, taking her time in
Taking a moment,
not in the transition zone, rather, sorry, in the aid station, and making sure, oh, she makes it 2 from 2.
But she doesn't have the energy to celebrate anymore. And you could hear the spectators in the background there. You're looking good, you're almost there. All these little white lies, as I like to call them.
Themselves. There we go, that's it. That's the moment where she knows she is about to win, and she's got to just keep it together for 1 kilometre, but it's so lovely to see that smile.
Enters onto the blue carpet here in Singapore. This has been a tremendous performance from Great Britain's Kate Woff. She's doing high fives with the biggest smile in Singapore right now, right on her face. The applause of everyone as Kate Woff wins the T100 here in Singapore, takes the tape and raises it in the air in celebration. What a performance from Kate Woff, who I think is just starting to understand what she's just achieved. She's very happy to do high fives at this stage in the race. She had a big smile on her face actually in the transition zone as she was going through there, and that smile is right back on the face of the Austrian. Fantastic to see. Lisa Pertera, 2nd place here in Singapore.
She's going to hold on here.
Yeah. It was 2nd last year in Singapore. She's asking for some cheers from the crowd, and they're richly deserved. It's going to be a 3rd place in 2025. A brilliant start to the year for Lucy Charles-Barclay, who will have her sights on the race to Qatar later in the year. She goes over the finish line.
And we can already see in the background Hannah Berry coming in, so fantastic to see Lucy Charles-Barclay back on a podium. She nearly always finishes on the podium when she's in the racing. And Hannah Berry behind her, there we go, what a happy athlete, and I'm just not surprised to see that smile, because this has been another great performance.
So 4th place for Hannah Berry here in Singapore. She can add that to a pretty impressive start to the season. She's got a 2nd place in Geelong. Thank our lucky stars, shall we say, that the race has neared its conclusion in the last few minutes, because that is what is coming to the people down by the bay. But let's take a look at the standings in the race to Qatar after 1 race. And of course, our champion here in Singapore, Kate Woff, at the top. Not far behind, though, is Lisa Pertera of Austria, and Lucy Charles-Barclay rounds off the podium in 3rd. Hannah Berry in 4th with brilliant performance from her, the same as Taylor Spivey in 5th. Ash Gentle, last year's champion, in 6th. Grace Theck in 7th. Amelia Watkinson in 8th. Marlene de Boer in 9th. And Megan McDonald makes up the final spot in 10th.
Take your marks.
So away we go here in Singapore. Some of the finest triathletes in the world ready to go through a world of pain over the next few hours to see who will be crowned our T100 Singapore champion. Up first, 2 kilometers of the De Boer swim course in the fresh water of Marina Bay before the athletes make their way to the first transition zone. The conditions, put simply, are absolutely brutal. A water temperature of 30 degrees, an air temperature of 33.6. So our first chance to see, and exactly as your point, I was going to say, these little stumbles there, aren't they, as they get out.
And Max looking back exactly as we thought he might do. That's Menno Koolhaas, I think, in 3rd, Martin van Riel in 4th. I think that might have been Tyler. We'll have a quick check when that comes up. Tyler Mislachuk, 5th place there.
Nice little belly flop there from Leo
Yeah, Tyler
Bichette.
Mislachuk has made that group. So that's a group of 6. Then at the front of the next group, that's Justus Nieschlag. We've got a couple of lost hats in there. Antonio Benite Lopez, he doesn't have a hat on anymore. That's the red hat there of Hayden Wild. So there's only about 8 seconds separating the back of the front group and the start of the second, but that is crucial.
So Vincent Luis makes his way onto the exit. And we're going to go down and join Jan and Alex, and they're going to see these guys come through.
As we see our first men coming on, Vincent Louis, the man we expected to come out, the coolest man of triathlon coming out, followed by Max Stapley, right up the front, and that looks like Martin van Riel, our champion, our 3rd. I would not have put money on that. He has obviously got a full Ironman in his legs. As he comes out ahead of Menno Koolhaas, one of the favored men for the swim right here. Leo Berger out next, another French powerhouse. Tyler Mislachuk, one of our men who races the best in the heat that I know of. Everybody looks super smooth, happy to get that ice that they all keep in their helmets. The group of 10 has split into a group of 6 as we see Rico Bogan coming out next. This man is obviously known to struggle in the heat, but I think he's worked on it very much. Followed by the German trio. We've got Mika Nude and we've got Justus Nieschlag coming out. Ahead of Jelle Geens, one of the big favorites, and right in front of us is none other than Hayden Wild, Olympic silver medalist. Greg Barnaby out there, Yannick Stoffler. It's on, it's close. It's much closer than what we saw the field bunched up being yesterday.
You really want to make sure you get out of that drafting zone. Technically, once the light flashes, you actually have to pass. I think in the early stages, the referees will be lenient, but Hayden's got to really watch out here. If he doesn't go past, that is technically a penalty.
Because he's gone backwards
got to
there,
go
hasn't he?
all the way past, and that is the trickiness of these big packs. If there's 10 athletes, you know, in theory, there's a minimum of 200 meters to the front, and you have got 45 seconds to pass each of these athletes. You can see Hayden's light has just stopped flashing there.
Oh, there he is again. Still not happy. A moments
Not happy,
like
is
this,
he?
though, perhaps indicative of him learning a new sport, middle distance triathlon.
Well, what happened here is that the athlete in front of him, so that's
Martin, isn't it?
it looks like Martin is slowing down, and he wasn't happy because he feels that he needs to pass. And Martin obviously used the moment to sit up. Can we just talk for a second about how good it is that Martin van Riel is in this front pack? I did not expect to see much of him today. He will be riding to power, he would be riding to numbers. You can see his GPS computer between his arms there. And he, oh,
Nice
little smile, he's looking good.
Just that little bump, isn't it? Going over there.
Just
And
going
off
over
it
there.
pops, yeah.
And what we saw in the earlier pictures is that he was using these bottles, the T100 bottles, very early on.
Bottle there, but I don't think he's got any other bottles.
He does.
the
He's
bike.
got a bottle inside
Oh, sorry, I
his
beg your
frame
pardon,
right
there you
there as
go.
he's taking a sip. But
Just
he's not giving up,
overtaking Yuri there,
and he's
isn't he?
just overtaking Yuri and holding his own.
He also is based now in Gold Coast, Australia. His partner is from Australia, so he moved over there late last year. It's actually why he couldn't be with us in Dubai. He got offered a wild card quite last minute to come and be part of that grand final in Dubai last year, but he was midway through emigrating when he got the call, and so it was just a bit too difficult to manage, so he had to pass up on that opportunity.
Greg Barnaby, the Ironman Pro Series champion from last year. He took the overall title in the end. probably not quite the same level of competition as what he's used to from that kind to the T100, but he's made the transition, which is great to see him stepping up and facing the very, very best in the world on a consistent basis.
Having a great showing here today so far, though. 7th place and a minute 40 down, riding with the likes of Leo Berger. Like, some of us questioned his decision to come across the T100. I love that he's done this and come across here to such a high caliber, steep quality field.
All right, 300 meters, the gap he's put in. We're going to go down to Alex, who's in transition.
Yes, Rico Bogan emerging into T2, and Kyle is alongside. You were just saying that you were absolutely delighted for him today in the performance that Rico's putting in.
Yeah, he's had an absolute incredible bike leg here, and obviously he's got a lead, which is, you want the wind in your ears, you know, you can get that adrenaline, you get the crowds really coming after you, and yeah, you're on the front foot starting this run.
Hayden's got the gloves off as he spins round and prepares to get the shoes on to go running. Tell us about the way that you approach T2. You've put so much into it at this point. 2 down, 1 to go. What are you thinking? What is your process?
Yeah, it's like the first time you get a real indicator of the damage that's been done on the bike. You step off and your legs start running, and sometimes you start cramping, sometimes you feel awesome. And yeah, these guys obviously heading out, the damage might have already been done on the bike. Their core temperature might have already gotten really high, and you know, the core temperature only goes one way when you start running, and so limiting that. I think taking a couple of seconds in the aid stations just to slow down, put ice down your suit, and just mitigate those heat. They've got their metrics, they've got their data of what they've been training for. You know, they might be saying my theoretical race pace is 3:10, 3:15 per kilometre, but when you put it in these conditions that you haven't experienced all winter, you know, you might start running and you're running 4-minute Ks. And yeah, I was just talking to Lucy Charles-Barclay just 5 minutes ago, and she was saying yesterday, you know, she said, am I okay? Am I actually okay? You know, it's like that's the thing that's going through her head. It's, you know, what damage are you sort of doing to yourself? And what my mental cues last year was just keep going, just keep moving forward, just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and it was people were dropping like flies all around me, and I think, you know, I picked up another place in the last 200 meters last year.
See a little replay now of Rico Bogan entering the second transition zone. And what happens here? He almost came off the bike. He loses a bottle in the process.
I think this is where we're going to see, he gave him a little fist pump as well. There we go. That was a little recognition of the efforts that they put in together on the bike and the lead they built. A little bit of sportsmanship before it's, right, let's see the best man on the run.
As we see the two going shoulder to shoulder, Hayden taking the lead for the first time in this run. Mika Nut was 1:44 back. He's almost doubled his deficit. That shows you the pace that Hayden Wild is laying down here. Leo Berger at 2:46, he was 2:11 down, so he's only lost half a minute, but this is in 5K. Hayden Wiles is putting down a ferocious pace as we see.
I think they took Mika Nut by surprise there.
Backwards.
But it's so hard to know. I mean, that was just my first observation. Here we go, and now he's stopping.
No,
I think he's at, yeah, suit's coming off. Or just letting some air in, perhaps. Yeah, this is never nice to see.
This is right opposite the spectator zone as well, where his wife would be watching.
This is Martin Van Riel. Just watch his footing. I think he takes a small trip.
Yep, doesn't realize that's a little speed bump.
Saved it. I think he was taking a drink at the same time as well, so a little bit of multitasking and nearly cost him a trip onto the concrete.
Well, here's someone we haven't seen an awful lot of so far today, but he's having a fantastic race. He's now sitting in third. Leo Berger. Leo Berger is going to make the move, and at this point in the race, he's going to go into second.
Quick tap on the back there from Leo, just a little bit of a encouragement to Rico, but now Rico's challenge is, can he hold on to a podium place? And that challenge is getting tougher by the second. We have got Mathis Margirier not far behind, and the likes of Martin Van Riel and Gregory Barnaby, who are running together, super strong as well. And here he is. He has broken away from Mathis Margirier at the start of this third lap, and he is clear into third place. Just phenomenal, Jan.
Absolutely phenomenal.
These are tough, tough conditions out here in Singapore as we get another view of those brilliant signs from Hayden.
Oh,
Takes the time to high five and say thank you to the fans who've come out to support him here in Singapore. So Hayden Wilde takes the applause and will step on to the blue carpet here in Singapore. He fought so hard on that bike. He managed to stretch out the lead on the run, which really cemented his dominance here in Singapore. He's weaving round to get as many high fives as possible. And the Olympic silver medalist has made his way onto the T100. Hayden Wilde, you're a T100 winner. Congratulations.
Taking his time to take the tape, but there he goes. He's arrived with a bang and he is delighted, as he should be, to do so.
It's great to see Leo Berger with us on the T100 for 2025.
And again, another hotshot contract. What an addition he has been to this racing. Absolutely loving the contribution of these hotshots so far, mixing it up, showing what these short course guys can do.
So Martin Van Riel making his way on the blue carpet. I think that grimace has just turned into a smile. What a race from Martin Van Riel.
Yuri Kulin crossing the finish line in 4th place. He is delighted, as he should be. That was quite the comeback there on that run.
Through today. Let's recap, shall we, the results and have a look at where the standings leave us for the race to Qatar. Confirmation of Hayden Wilde winning, Leo Berger in 2nd and Martin Van Riel in 3rd. He takes the final podium place. Yuri Kulin, last year's champion, manages 4th. Gregory Barnaby of Italy in 5th. And Matthias Margirier in 6th. Antonio Benito Lopez in 7th. Sam Long in 8th. A decent result from him, given his situation or coming out last of the swim. Mika Newt in 9th and Rico Bogan in 10th. And just confirmation there of the fastest sectors. And Hayden Wilde with the fastest run of anyone. Rico Bogan with the fastest bike of anyone. And just confirmation, it was Vincent Luis with the fastest swim. He was absolutely mighty out in the Marina Bay. And this, obviously, because we've only had one race, leaves us with where we stand in the race to Qatar. 35 points for Hayden Wilde. He'll go home very, very happy with his haul here. Leo Berger in 2nd with 29 and 26 for Martin Van Riel. So away we go here in San Francisco. Alongside me for this iconic race is the 2018 World Triathlon Champion and Olympic and Commonwealth Games medalist, Vicky Holland. Vicky, if you could pick commentary box or cold shark-infested waters, what are you picking?
It's actually a really difficult question, Matt, because this race is an absolute bucket list race for pretty much any triathlete on the planet. Last year as well, the athletes were all wearing booties in the water, whereas none of them are wearing gloves, and maybe some of them are wearing booties we can't see yet, but we'll find out shortly.
So, first out of the water, I think, is that still Mark Dubrick?
I think so, yeah. Yes, and Jamie Riddle through there in 2nd. I think that's Morgan Pearson coming through there. Bitados, Aaron Royal is there. This is Kyle Smith in the white cap coming through now as well. Jelle Geens, Vincent Luis. I mean, the whole pack is here. I'm fully expecting to see all of our athletes come through as they head into T1.
So the name of the game here, be as efficient as you can. Get that wetsuit off as quickly as possible. Not always the easiest thing, and some of these athletes make it look very, very simple.
Every second matters in short course racing, where you're fighting to make big packs. That's not quite so often the case in middle and long distance racing. but they're still all learning that they've got to be super fast and slick through transition. And there we have Vincent Luis with his special 49ers race suit. It's sort of an ode to the San Francisco 49ers, and it's pretty distinctive, isn't it, Matt? So that's Nicholas Mann there at the rear of this group at the moment. So it's going to be fascinating to see how they do start to spread out. And it's where someone like Morgan Pearson had such an advantage by being first on the bike. Martin Van Riel was hot on his heels as well. And those two have a real advantage as it heads into the first sort of more technical section and up the first hill that we will see quite soon. Looks like Rico Bogan might be considering a pass here on Martin Van Riel. You can see that red light on the back of Martin's bike flashing, and that means Rico is well inside the draft zone. And in fact, he has just pulled up now level with him and will make that pass.
Yeah, we saw Rico do this with Hayden Wild, didn't we, in Singapore? They took it in turns at the front of the race, kind of sharing the load of setting the pace. So back to the front, and that looks like Bitados
Yes, I think
overtaking
so.
Martin Van Riel and Rico Bogan to seize the initiative.
Yeah, that's interesting, because
On
that
lap
means
2.
that they have sort of come back together a little bit now, whereas they were separated. You know, our sort of leaderboard hasn't quite caught up yet. They've obviously not gone over another timing map for us to update yet, but really interesting that that move's been made and he's gone straight to the front there.
And confirmation there, yeah, of that penalty for the young South African, Jamie Riddle. It's interesting, Vicky, that the lead is changing and the positions are changing a lot. And I compare it with Singapore. We had that definitely at the front, didn't we, with Hayden Wild and Rico Bogan. But it feels like this hasn't quite naturally fit yet, has it, into its path?
Yeah, so very interestingly, Carl Smith is carrying that bottle in his mouth now. Makes me think that something has broken on his bike. He doesn't seem to have somewhere to rack it, so let's go and see if we can work out what's going on here. So that's Yelageen's going round, and oh, there we go. So I think that's actually a nutrition hydration pack. He's got his bottle. What does he do with his bottle now?
And we'll make our way back to the men's race.
Oh, I love it when we can get these images and see the Golden Gate Bridge in the background. I just don't think I'm ever going to get sick of it, especially because last year I was just so disappointed that we didn't get that. And it is really, really great to see. It's such an iconic bridge. Pretty much anyone in the world could look at that image and tell you where we are right now. We are in San Francisco, and these athletes are escaping from Alcatraz.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of escaping from Alcatraz because they're moving at quite a pace through the course.
Rico has extended his lead since we were last with him just a couple of minutes ago, so it does look like this is the time he's decided to make a move at just under halfway through the bike. He's now got 20 seconds on that pack behind him, the likes of Kyle Smith, Yelageen, Martin Van Riel, Jamie Riddle into that pack as well. Of course, we've not mentioned him so far, Yuri Kulan and Bitados. And then Mika Nut, who was sort of in the pack, out of the pack, and then back in the pack again. So he seems to have made himself back in there as well. And then after that, we've got that minute gap back to Aaron Royal. And that is Danielle Kleister sort of stuck in the women's pack. And there we go, Yuri is into the penalty tent.
So the 1 minute will begin. And this must feel like an absolute eternity.
Absolutely, it's come up on the screen as 3. I believe it is just the 1 minute he will have to serve. It used to be 3, but we have that rule changed from midway through last season. And so now he has the agonizing minute wait. And gosh, doesn't it feel like a long time, even as we're watching him.
Yeah, I don't know he'll actually drop back that many places. I think maybe Mika Nut will obviously overtake him, but just by the looks of the times, it'll be Justin Riale who will still slot in front of. So position-wise, he hasn't lost too much, but time-wise, he has.
Yeah.
Been a really, really good bike leg from Rico Bogan. He's looked incredibly strong. He's led for a significant proportion of this part of the race, and he takes that right-hand turn onto the blue carpet. Off the bike, very, very smooth.
There we go.
And makes his way to his stand. Really good support here in San Francisco. And I wonder if a few of these athletes are going to, also a few of the amateurs are going to get some tips on how to do a smooth transition here. Let's keep our eye on how Rico Bogan does.
And say everything has to go in the box. That's the most important thing to say. And all those things he's got down there, a gel, etc., sunglasses, whatever, he has to take those. There we go. Take them with him as he heads out onto the run course. And if he had decided, for example, he didn't want to take them, they also have to go in the box. You can't leave anything on the floor.
So Jamie Riddle takes his foot out of his shoe, and again another nice and smooth dismount off the bike. It's pretty narrow through there, so you want to make sure you get that bit right. Don't want to drop any water bottles, as we saw a few athletes do in Singapore. Oh, and the bike wants to go for a walk, but eventually he gets it.
I'm afraid he's not getting an 8
stands.
anymore. And there we go, Kyle Smith rounding the final U-turn as well.
Yelageen's just behind him. So Jamie Riddle makes his way out onto the run course. He's going to try and chase down Rico Bogan.
Yeah, he's just asking there, he just called across to have a penalty. So I think he knows now that he's got one. He can take it on any lap on the run course. Yeah, it's a tactical decision, you know, where you take it on the run. The reason they don't allow that on the bike is because it's such an advantage to continue to sit in the line of athletes and take your penalty right at the end. So had Yuri Kulin had that opportunity, he would have stayed in this bike pack the entire ride and then taken his minute at the end, which actually might be a nice little advantage before you head out onto the run. You've had a minute to stand there, shake your legs out, and then wait and go. That's the reason we make the athletes take their penalty on the lap they incur it, whereas on the run there isn't that same advantage. You know, that's much more of a personal tactical decision. Will I be better taking it at the beginning or in the middle, maybe right before a sprint finish perhaps? That's where you've got to decide on the run. There we go, he's indicating he's going into the penalty box now.
And you've got to press the timer to begin, but he'll be using this as an opportunity to recover. It's not ideal, but the very least you can do, like we can see there, he's just stretching out, just trying to get his body in the best possible shape for the last 12K.
Oh, bit of cramp there. It's just as you said it, he was trying to stretch and the cramp hit. But he is going to start pretty much level with Kyle Smith, so that'll be a real advantage for him if he can just stretch out those legs a little bit. Here we go. Just as Kyle Smith comes round, there he goes. So Jamie and Kyle are now going to be running together in, well, 3rd and 4th place, really. But again, when I just compare him to the likes of Yelageen's, who does look to be moving really, really well, Rico's having an absolute race for the ages here. And I think that's why when we were there comparing him back to Martin, I found it really hard to assess where Martin's at, but I think we can probably say Martin's not at his best right now. Not today. That's where they would sit in the overall standings. But there we go. So that was a move. There's Mika Newt put in a serious injection of pace there. He does not want to face Martin Van Riel down the blue carpet and that sprint finish. He wants it done and dusted before, so that was a move. He's had a grimace on his face for pretty much the entire run, and we did question whether that meant he was starting to struggle, whether we would see him falter, whether it would mean that Yella could pounce, Yelageen's could catch up to him, but there has been no faltering from this man. There we go, one high five. And we might see a smile soon as he realises just what he's done.
I'm fascinated to know when a grimace turns to a smile. Keep your eyes on that, because I think we're going to learn very, very soon as Rico Bogan makes his way onto the finish straight, rounds the final corner.
It's a long straightaway. It's a long way to go.
Very, very long straight.
But he will be so delighted that he is on that straightaway on his own this year. He is not in a sprint finish. He is not battling Martin Van Riel and Kyle Smith. He's done that earlier on in the race. He made the damage early on the bike. He's now taken the high fives as he deserves. Still grimacing his way down, but he is going to be our T100 San Francisco winner.
So on the blue carpet, Rico Bogan might just turn this grimace into a smile. He was 3rd last year, and he makes his way over the finish line. Rico Bogan, you're a T100 winner. Finally, that grimace turns into a smile. Just goes to show how hard he has worked over the last 18 kilometres, over the last 100 kilometres here on the T100. And he blows a kiss to the camera. He's absolutely obliterated the rest of the pack here. He's finished well out in front.
Yelageen's showing just exactly why. Bouncing back from a DNF is a really tough thing to do, and to do it in the style he's done it today. Great all-round performance from Yelageen's.
Yeah, really, really impressive performance from Yelageen's. He's already got one T100 win. It's going to be second place here in San Francisco this time around. Tongue out through the finish line, and I'm sure he's going to be greeted here by those who are going to congratulate him. For now, our eyes are on Mick Anoot on the blue carpet. This is a brilliant, brilliant result for him. He finished 5th last year in San Francisco. He's going to go 2 better this time around and finish 3rd.
Taken out the hairband to let
taken
those
out
locks
the
flow.
hairband.
I love that. Go on, Mika.
Brilliant, brilliant performance from Mick Anoot.
2 German athletes on the podium. 2 very young German athletes on the podium, and a great return to racing for Kyle Smith after the heartbreak of not being able to start in Singapore. 4th place here today. Obviously something happened midway through the run, but he held it together. 4th place, and a very happy and relieved Jamie Riddle makes it into the top 5.
All of a sudden, those cramps that we saw at that final corner seem to have gone away, because he realises he's on for a tremendous result, the best result, I'm sure, of his career. Jamie Riddle, congratulations, you finished 5th at the San Francisco T100.
Our highest placed wildcard finisher of the day, and we had a lot of wildcards here today with some incredibly high caliber. So to come through in 5th place, what a result for the young man.
Martin Van Riel gingerly over the line. I'm sure it will be very interesting to hear what he has to say after this race about how that performance was. Well, let's take a look then how that men's race finished. In confirmation that Rico Bogan finished in 1st place. He had the fastest bike of anyone in the men's race. In 2nd, Yelageen's, and he had the fastest run of anyone in the race. Mick Anoot in 3rd, Carl Smith in 4th, Jamie Riddle in 5th. A superb performance from the young South African Martin Van Riel in 6th. I look forward to hearing what he has to say about how he felt he performed in that race. Then Yuri Kulin in 7th, Morgan Pearson in 8th, Jason West in 9th, and Nicholas Mann in 10th.
And a quick check on what all of that means to the standings, and it is Rico Bogan who has taken pole, Martin Van Riel up to 2nd as well, Yuri Kulin, who was brave today, sitting in 3rd in the overall standings.
And 3 jumpers, it looked like, Vicky, there.
You know, I actually thought this in the men's race. There was only 1 jumper in the men's race, whereas we saw probably about 40% of the field last year jump. Similarly, in the women's race last year, it was probably close to 50% of the women jumped in last year. Not so this year. And first thing to note is that white cap, that is Jess Learmonth, and she had a really good start. I noticed that she was really keen, B of the bang. She was diving into the water, and she's really pushing the pace here. And we can see right on her feet there, that is the purple cap of Victoria Lopez. And wild card here today, but another of our exceptional swimmers. And right behind her, I think, the sun's blinding me a little bit, but I think that is the red cap of Taylor Knibb as well. So all 3 of those athletes there leading that side. And on the other side, yellow cap, who would it be but Kate Woff, riding high, clearly on the confidence that she's got from that race in Singapore. Actually, I think that is Victoria Lopez who's at the front there. So I think it's actually, so she has got a yellow hat underneath her purple one, which is where it's become a bit confusing. So there we go, Victoria Lopez through first, Jessie Learmonth in 2nd, Kate Woff in 3rd, Holly Lawrence coming through in 4th. That is Taylor Spivey in 5th. Losing track now, they'll go, and then of course right at the back of the group there we've got Taylor Knibb and Julie Duron. So sorry, I missed one of the girls come through there, but we'll get the graphic up in a second.
It's fast and it's furious.
Marta Sanchez, of course. I apologise, Marta. She's made that pack as well. And the next 2 athletes to come through were really, really close as well. So we are not missing much. Hannah DeVay there. Also just 9 seconds behind Taylor Knibb, so that's a really good start for her. And our wild card athlete, who's only been notified of this 4 days before the race starts. She only arrived 48 hours or just over 48 hours before the race. Katarina Kruger, great start from her too. So that's Holly Lawrence leading the way there with Victoria Lopez on her feet. A little bit of a gap back to Kate Woff, who's still got her hat on.
Quite a few trainers.
Yeah,
we can see
Kate
Kate Woff
and Julie Deron.
Yeah.
Interesting. So two of our potentially best runners. Victoria Lopez seems to have trainers on there as well. I think it might have been Victoria.
Taylor Spivey just behind, she's in trainers.
And there we go, Kate Woff, and that is Taylor Spivey taking off her trainers. So she's got to make sure those go in the box as well, even if you wear those just in that short section through transition. Taylor Knibb getting that wetsuit into the box, and it looks like Kate Woff is going to be our first athlete.
Rapid transition, goodness me.
Yeah, first athlete out onto the bike.
And Taylor Knibb
taking time
on
there.
socks.
Yeah.
She looks like she's composing herself.
Just saw her take a quick look to see who's already ahead of her there and who was already on their bikes.
So Taylor Knibb making her way out of the transition area.
I think followed immediately there by Hannah de Vet, and that shows that she's had a brilliant transition because she was just off the back of them coming out the water, 19 seconds down, and she's made her way right up to Taylor Knibb. That is Paula Finlay there with her custom bike, beautiful paint job she's got on her bike there. She was the sort of first athlete that was a bit more distanced to come through. She was just 40 seconds down. And this is sort of where we expect Taylor to go to work, so to speak. We know what she does. We know what to expect from her. We fully expect her to start moving up as she goes through. She's currently in 7th position, going past Victoria Lopez there. But as she moves her way up the pack there, I don't think it's going to take too long. I think Taylor has grown into that pressure, into that role as the champion so well over the years as she's developed as an athlete. As we see now, it's almost like a double pass there. We've got Julie Deron going around. I think that might be Kate Woff. And then now Taylor Knibb going right to the front. So Taylor's become so good at coming to these races, knowing that people expect her to win, and still just executing her race plan perfectly. And she's really, really good at it now. 3rd place, she's just coming up on Holly Lawrence in 2nd after that fantastic swim.
Easy.
And just in front of her, we have Jess Learmonth. So currently, 1st place, Jess Learmonth. Now just into 2nd place, Taylor Knibb, and 3rd place there, Holly Lawrence. Yellow athlete in front, I actually believe, is Andre Kubo. So I think we've got a little bit of merging of the men's and women's fields here. So this is the very front of the women's race. Taylor Knibb has now gone round Jess Learmonth, and Jess didn't have any company at the front of the race the entire time in Singapore. She just sat on the front and just did her own thing. I think she'll be really pleased with this. I think she now knows she's going to have her work cut out for her, yes, to go with Taylor Knibb, but I think she might try and take that opportunity to see what she can do. There we go, Kate Woff coming through on her own, but as I said, this is exactly what she did in Singapore. She will just be riding her own power, her own pace, to her own comfort zone, and just seeing what she can do. She's still right up there in 4th place, and a decent gap building now behind her. Behind her, we've got Holly Lawrence and Marta Sanchez, a full minute and 10 seconds, or just under a minute and 10 seconds behind her. So, yeah, still in a very strong position for our series leader right now. We know that she is in 2nd place. She's now only 38 seconds. Wow. Behind Taylor Knibb. This is going to come down to it. So we know that Taylor had well over a minute ahead of Julie Deron off the bike, and the way Julie Deron is running right now, she is chomping down on that lead that Taylor Knibb has. So could this be the day when Julie Deron takes the tape for the first time, just as we saw Rico Bogan do in the men's?
Yeah, let's not forget Taylor Knibb has a 100% T100 record. So Julie Deron in prime position here to contest that and to ensure Taylor Knibb loses that 100% record.
Right now we are with Taylor Knibb, who will have just gone round that U-turn, will have seen how close Julie Deron has got in just the first half a lap here. We've got 4 laps to do, so only 1/8 of the way through the course. And right now that gap that Taylor Knibb had built up on the bike has been more than halved by Julie Deron in just the first half of this lap 1. And there we go. Is that her we can see just coming around the corner in the background? Her cadence looks good. She looks pretty smooth. Taylor doesn't seem to be showing any signs of distress, but you can see the speed that Julie's moving with. She's a really powerful athlete. You can see she's got really good glute strength and really good cadence, and she's put a spurt in there. She didn't just pass, she's gone hard to make that pass. That was tactical. That's saying to Taylor, If you want to come with me, you've got to up your pace right now. And it's a really hard thing to do, to make that gear change, that step change, and go with someone who's just overtaken you when you're midway through an 18-kilometer run. Really hard to do that, and that move has already given her 10, 20, 12 meters.
What does Kate Woff do here, do you think? Does she, I mean, third place would be a phenomenal result for her. That would, I mean, the race to Qatar standings, a win in a third place, she'd be right up there, I'm sure. How much does she try and chase that second place with Taylor Knibb? Is there a danger if she tries to chase the second place too hard? She might end up giving a place back perhaps to people behind, although you look at the likes of Paula Findlay in fifth, it's still a long way back, isn't she?
Yeah, she's got a good gap, so she's obviously running faster than Jess Learmonth because we've seen her just overtake Jess. She's got another couple of minutes, a bit more than 2 minutes actually, back to the next position, which is Paula Findlay, who's running in fifth place right now. So I think what she needs to be considering is the fact that she's actually pretty close to getting to the point where she might be able to catch Taylor Knibb if she keeps up with this pace, and Taylor's pace doesn't change extremely one way or the other. So that would be motivating to me. That would make me think, I'm pretty close to being able to do this, to get this gap down and to get myself up to second place. It's worth me trying that. Right now, you're in the race, you're a competitor. I don't think she wants to just settle for third. I think she wants to see whether there's any possibility to move it up to second. And of course, you don't know what Taylor's going to do. Taylor might start to struggle. Taylor might have a bad lap, and all of a sudden, Kate's within 30 seconds of her.
Julie Duron makes her way round that corner, and we're going to get an idea of just how far ahead of Taylor Knibb she is. You
Yeah,
can just
we can see her, can't we?
at
Just
the end
coming.
there.
There we go, that's Taylor Knibb, obviously, of course, going through. She's halfway through the run now. She now knows that if she wants any chance of winning, she's got to keep that pace high, and she's got to hold strong, because she will also know, if she doesn't know already, that Kate Woff is going to be the one coming from behind her, charging her down. So yeah, she's still looking fantastic out front. She takes a high five from the local shark there. Julie Duron. We're now here with Paula Findlay, who's currently running in fifth place. We obviously missed her at the season opener in Singapore because she was unable to leave the United States as she goes through her green card application process as a Canadian who lives and bases herself in America. That was something that she's just had to do, and unfortunately it meant that she couldn't leave the States, but putting in a really solid performance here today in fifth place. And again, she's going to have eyes on Jess Learmonth. We know Jess isn't running as well as she can do and has done in other races, but Jess is sliding back through the field slightly, and that means that Paula Findlay will have eyes on her now. And there we go. Was that our first smile there from Julie Duron as she heads onto the blue carpet?
Exactly. The smile comes because Julie Duron knows what she's done here. She can go on, give some high fives to the fans. Over she goes. And Julie Duron is proving to everyone here on the T100 that she's got what it takes to win a race. She's had 3 second place finishes in 2024, but she's going to go one better in 2025. Julie Duron, you are a T100 winner. Amazing stuff from the Swiss athlete who raises the tape in the air, and that's the smile we've been waiting for.
There it is, yeah, she's held it together so well, and you can see the emotion as she heads over there to her mum. Go on, Tiger, she said in the interview earlier, and Tiger went for it. What an all-round performance. A stunning first win for Julie Duron. Singapore well in the rear-view mirror for her now, and her season has truly begun.
Yeah, go on, Tiger. Whatever her mum said clearly has worked. And it's just sinking in, perhaps, that she is now a T100 winner.
Last year, and let's not take anything away from Taylor Knibb, she still put together a really, really solid performance here today. She's been strong across the board. She just wasn't able to get the same kind of gap on the bike that we saw her do often in 2024, and that was what made the difference today. Julie Duron was close enough coming off the bike that she could take the overall lead, but still another podium performance from Taylor Knibb.
Yeah, it just goes to show the high expectations that she sets, that everyone around her sets, that fans expect of Taylor Knibb. Because we do expect her to turn up to T100 races and win. We do expect that. So a second place is still an incredible performance. Taylor Knibb finishes here in San Francisco in second.
Congrats. That was awesome.
I was running so scared. I was like, just don't blow up, just don't blow up.
You were fine.
No! I was so worried.
Already got the win in Singapore. She arrived on the T100 firmly. And now she's going to get the chance to stay on the podium. It's going to be a third place for the Brits. And a really, really good performance.
Just confirms that was not a one-off. You know, this girl is here to stay and is good at this distance. And she's this good this early. Imagine what she can do after a full season.
So Kate Woff finishes in third, rounds off the podium here in San Francisco. Not quite the smile of Singapore, but goodness me, still a superb performance.
You know, this is just what Paula does. She just gets out there and churns out good results time in and time again. And fourth place today for Paula Findlay, I think, is another really, really good day out.
Yeah, two better than she did last year here in San Francisco, which I'm sure will please her immensely. Final few metres for Paula Findlay. I'm sure we'll get the thoughts of Eric Lagerstrom as well at some point, her other half. But brilliant to see. Paula Findlay finishes in fourth place here in San Francisco.
And that is the best smile of the day, I think.
Contrast that to the last couple of...
A fifth place, full of emotion, I think. And I think that is the happiest athlete back on course today. What a return for Holly Lawrence, doing it for the mums, top 5. Stunningly good return to racing. Well done, Holly.
Yeah, third in Miami, but she's had an awful lot going on in her life since then. It's fifth here in San Francisco for Holly Lawrence.
Oh, and look at this, beautiful moments now, Holly and Sean, and beautiful little Poppy down there in the finish line. What a great moment in the sport. What a great moment for Mum and for Poppy.
Beautiful pictures there of Holly
Nice
getting the best hug.
Just so lovely to be able to do it with her there.
And confirmation there that Julie Duron won. She is in first position. Taylor Knibb in second. No surprise to see her with the fastest bike leg of anyone in second place. Kate Woff rounding out the podium in third. Paula Findlay in fourth. Holly Lawrence returning to competition after giving birth to her daughter. She's in fifth. Lucy Byram in sixth. Jess Learmont, really good to see her make it to the end of a race and feeling good as well. Marta Sanchez in eighth. Taylor Spivey in ninth, and Daniela Kleiser rounds out the top 10.
Let's therefore take you through the standings in the T100 race to Qatar for the women. Kate Woff, as we said, great to hear from just now, leads the way still. Julie Duron up to second. Taylor Spivey sitting in third. Not long to go until we reboot, reset, and get the athletes back on the start line. But here in San Fran, Duron and Bogan have ruled the race.
Athletes, you are now in the hands of the starter.
On your marks.
So away we go here in Vancouver. The T100 has arrived in Canada, and over the next few hours we're going to get treated to watching some of the best triathletes in the world take on this brand new course. Up first, a 2-kilometre swim broken up into two 1-kilometre laps before the athletes make their way onto the bike.
Trying really to get the knees up high there. We can see Mark Dubrick doing that. Not quite as good from Martin there, but we have also heard that it's really, really muddy in the water there. Now that could be Miguel Hidalgo right at the front.
Yes.
It is Miguel Hidalgo. So he's lost his cap as well. We were expecting to see him in a yellow hat. His hat unfortunately has popped off, but the Brazilian on debut is someone I know we are incredibly excited to see race, and he's leading at the first turn after the swim.
Yeah, Miguel Hidalgo then in the lead, Morgan Pearson in second, Mark Dubrick in third, Martin Van Riel in fourth, Antonio Benito Lopez fifth, Carl Smith in sixth, Mika Newt in seventh, Wilhelm Hirsch in eighth, and Jason West in 9th.
Who have we got here?
I think that's Peter Hemrick, isn't it?
It could well be.
Yeah.
Yes, it is Peter Hemrick.
Yeah, oh, we don't want to see this. Peter Hemrick has this bike course. But attention now turns to the exit of the De Boer swim course. And out our athletes go.
First thing to note is that's definitely more than a 10-second gap, which is what they had at the end of lap 1. So they have extended their lead. No surprise with the pace that it appeared Morgan Pearson was putting down. And look how far ahead Morgan Pearson is already. He's just about to appear from, there we go, from outside of those bushes. He was lightning fast through transition in San Francisco, and he's doing the same again.
Yeah, our short course athletes who join us, coming from short course where it's such an important aspect, isn't it?
Hidalgo can't get his wetsuit off. There we go. I think he's just got a hold of it. Now, that might also be because his hands are cold. That's something you can really struggle to get hold of your zipper when you're really, really cold. So he seems to have managed to do it now, and he's back up running again. That's not allowed. So, you know, they have to do it themselves. And I myself have had a situation where I've stood at my racking point in particularly cold conditions, unable to get my zipper down because my hands just wouldn't work. So it's incredibly frustrating, especially for Miguel, who obviously built up a really great lead, did a great swim, and then lost a little bit at that time. But phenomenal runner. He seems to have made up most of that distance now. I think he's already got his bike. There he is, just coming past Martin Van Riel now. So those two athletes going on the bike side by side.
Yeah, Hidalgo and Martin Van Riel.
And of course, nearest to screen there, that is Rico Bogan. All eyes are on Rico Bogan this week, quite rightly, after the performance he put in San Francisco. We just want to know what he's going to do next.
Yeah, you saw he's got his socks on already underneath his wetsuit there.
Yeah, that tactic again. Yeah, exactly what he did in San Francisco. None of the other athletes have copied him, but yeah, that will pay dividends, especially as he heads into the run. So these are our final two athletes coming out the water, Will Draper and Sam Long. They have, of course, lost a fair bit of time, but it's unusual for Sam Long in that he has another athlete to potentially work with at the start of the bike. And that's actually something that Will Draper spoke about, wasn't it? That he was actually quite keen to see whether he possibly could ride with the level of someone like Sam Long. He's got to go all in and try something a bit new.
So Sam Long, our final athlete out of the water, gets on his bike and he'll start his...
Big rules as well from the crowd for him. He's got a big fan base over here. Try and get really good points, really good scores on the board there, and then maybe peak again later on in the season. But you're always going to want to... Oh, a bottle went flying off. I think that was Rico Bogan's bike. I didn't quite see which one it came off there.
I think we can have a look at what fell off on the bike a short while ago. So here we go. Was it Rico or was it Miguel?
Yeah, I was looking at you, Matt. No, it was Rico's.
It was Rico. And do you know what? It was lucky it didn't go under the wheel of Miguel Hidalgo.
The gap.
Rico Bogan is right on the wheel of Martin Van Riel here, and he's going to ease past him.
That's right.
I guess for Martin Van Riel, that is not really what you want to be seeing so early on into the bike. We've still got 63 kilometres or so to go.
There we go. So we did, in fact, see Mika Newt getting that drafting penalty, and that's so disappointing. He was obviously having a great race today, full of confidence. We've spoken about it all week. We were building him up for a big day today.
Just get your legs going again. Just stay on your pace. There goes a couple of athletes by.
Well, that's it. I was actually, as you were talking there, Greg, I was looking at the timing splits that we had on the left-hand side, and I thought, he's going to get on his bike again just as that second pack come past him, and that could be really useful for him because obviously he's lost touch with those four leaders, or the three other leaders now, but he does now have a group to ride with.
Now this is very unusual to see a couple of passes like this. It's up to Bogan to drop back, it's up to Kyle Smith now to drop back, and then Martin Van Riel, he needs to hold the pace at the front to just stay out of this, you know, the whole drafting fiasco. And what can happen here is they can pick up a minute penalty.
Yeah, Fury Coolan.
He's got a problem.
You know, interestingly, I saw when he came round at the end of the lap before this one, he was stretching out his back a lot as he went through that technical section and grimacing, pulling a lot of faces. And we sort of got some intel at that point that it seemed likely that he might not be able to finish the race. And it seems like, there you go, stretching out that back, some kind of cramp or seized up muscle there. Something's not gone right for him there in his back, or it could even be down into his glute, his hip area. But he's had to withdraw from the race.
Let's listen in.
I dropped back straight away. I was struggling to keep up with the yellow.
Wow. So what we believe we've just seen there is Kyle Smith being awarded a drafting penalty. Now we're going to have to wait and get confirmation on that. But it did look as though he was given a blue card.
But let's have a look at this.
Yeah, so Kyle Smith.
It's a shame we don't have VAR in triathlon.
She totally had wrapped over. I have athlete number 6 doing his penalty.
So there we go, Kyle Smith taking his minute drafting penalty.
Just seen there, Mika Newt blast by him, and we saw him ask for a bit of VAR in triathlon, and it's obviously still weighing heavily on his mind.
Yeah. And guys, just to reiterate that a drafting penalty is non-disputable.
Yeah, it's certainly not. So 12 seconds, 11 seconds left of this penalty, and he's going to probably be joined in this transition zone by those behind him. Mika Newt, Jelle Geens, Antonio Benito Lopez aren't going to be far behind, but Rico Bogan and Martin Van Riel,
yeah, I think they've already gone past him.
They're neck and neck at the moment in transition. Rico getting the jump though on Martin.
With those socks already on that we know that he wore all through the swim, with those booties that he had on as well.
So Kyle Smith out of the penalty box, and he'll join Mika Newt there in the second transition zone, who is putting on socks. And Jelle Geens as well. Similarly, getting ready. I think almost Antonio Benito Lopez went a little bit far past his stand.
Flying into transition there, didn't he? He's having a brilliant race today. I think we saw him race quite a few times last year. I think his best race was 6th in Ibiza. He was 7th at our series opener in Singapore, but a bit of a poorer day for him in San Francisco. But I think he also works part-time as a police officer back in Spain. So he's another one of our athletes who's a very busy athlete, but having a great day today.
No socks for Kyle Smith in some pretty snazzy shoes, has to be said.
And he's going to have to run like fire.
The next two laps or so.
There we go, just as you're speaking there, it's updated to 14 seconds. So we've not yet had eyes on Jelle Geens, but he will be able to see them up the road. There we go, Jelle Geens. He can see the lead motorcycle just ahead. He knows that those two athletes who are the very front of the race are within striking distance. And I think he's going to blow straight by. And as we're talking about it, Jelle Geens has made a move.
Wow.
He has surged out of that turn. So that turn was 3.5 laps into our 6 laps. We've got 7.5 kilometers to go. And now is the moment. Jelle Geens has pressed on. Martin Van Riel right now, he's got to respond. He doesn't seem to have anything to quite get back up to Jelle Geens, but this is where he's got to find something, or Jelle Geens has got this race sewn up.
All their focus has to be...
It's got to be on Rico.
Yeah.
Because Rico is the next athlete up the road. I mean, who knows what will happen with Martin or Jelle. One or other may blow up at some point.
Perhaps here for Rico Bogan, who, I mean, the trouble with Rico Bogan, as you said earlier, with him sort of grimacing, is he does look like he's in pain all the time when he's running.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to tell whether he is or not, but I think we can probably say, can't we, looking at him there, that he's not in his best run shape.
Kyle and Mika have gone past him, but they've not clean dropped him, so he's done a really good job of keeping within touching distance.
He rounds that U-bend and puts his fist up in the air.
And he should enjoy this moment. Wins aren't that easy to come by, and he's earned every second of this one.
He certainly has. He stayed close enough on the bike. He managed to battle it out for 18 kilometers on this run leg. And he's going to take the tape here. with Vancouver in the background. Jelle Geens wins his second ever T100 race here in Vancouver. And that's a huge smile
Isn't
on
it?
his face.
The smile says it all. Jelle Geens, of course, has a partner and a child back in Australia, and so for him, he's just spent several weeks away with, of course, the San Fran race and here in Vancouver, and that hit home a bit differently when you've got to take time away from your loved ones to do this, and you can't take them with you everywhere. So I know Kate and Sienna back at home will be rooting for him and just delighted with what he's managed to achieve over the past 2 races.
So Martin Van Riel didn't quite have enough on the run. This is a really, really strong performance from him, though.
Back on the podium where we're so used to seeing him.
Exactly. A brilliant performance here from Martin Van Riel. Second place for him, and he'll, I'm sure, get a congratulations from his good friend.
And that is it. They are incredibly good friends. They've raced together at the short course circuit for a decade or so, and now they've stepped up to the T100 together and are dominating.
And about to join them on the start-finish line is Mika Newt. A very impressive result, this. A 3rd place, given he did get that 1-minute drafting penalty on the bike. He was, as we mentioned a few times, one of our most confident athletes coming in to the race today. He was
taking the hair out again.
Talking the talk.
I love it. Go on, show us those locks, Mika. I absolutely love that.
If you've got hair like that, you might as well flaunt it. But 2 third-place finishes for him in 2 weeks is really, really strong stuff. And it sets him up
especially with the penalty, of course.
Especially with the penalty. But it sets him up really, really well for the next part of the season. And he looks delighted with a 3rd place for Mika Newt.
Here we go. So Kyle Smith appears to always be labouring a bit around that corner. He seems to be just dragging a foot as he goes. Whoa, so Antonio Benito Lopez, we missed this. He must have overtaken both of Mika Newt and Kyle Smith. Wow. He is going to come in with a career best 4th place.
Antonio Benito Lopez in 4th. And he looks pretty tired from his efforts.
Here we go. Oh, he's limping his way across the line, Kyle Smith. Full grimace on the face, but he has managed to drop Rico Bogan. So with all that he's faced today, he's still crossing the line in 5th place for Kyle Smith.
Wow. It'll be interesting to hear what happened there. If that's a cramp or an injury, we'll find out later. Rico Bogan, winner in San Francisco, will have to settle for 6th place here in Vancouver. They're all crouched over.
They're broken, aren't they?
It looks like that run course has really taken its toll on these athletes.
I think this course in general, I think we've broken them. But hey, these are the very best all-round endurance athletes in the world.
The men's results, because it was a fantastic race this morning. Jelle Geens finishing in 1st. Martin Van Riel went with him on the bike, went with him on the run as well, but wasn't quite enough to match the pace of Jelle Geens. Germany's Mika Newt rounding out the podium in 3rd, and even more impressive when you consider that he also had a drafting penalty. Spain's Antonio Benito Lopez in 4th, Carl Smith in 5th. He also had that 1-minute drafting penalty. Then it's Rico Bogan in 6th, our winner last time out in San Francisco, with no surprise again, the fastest bike leg of anyone, but the run not quite quick enough to challenge at the top. Morgan Pearson with a couple of purple sectors there. That's a Formula 1 term, but if you watch Formula 1, you'll recognise the purple colour there. But with the fastest swim and fastest run of anyone, a 57.44, comfortably faster than Jelle Geens in 1st place. Jason West in 8th. Panayotis Bitados, beg your pardon, in 9th, and Wilhelm Hirsch in 10th. So that race has had a pretty big impact on the race to Qatar standings. Martin Van Riel now out in 1st place with a nice little lead there ahead of his good friend Jelle Geens. Rico Bogan in 3rd, Mika Newt in 4th, Antonio Benito Lopez proving consistency is key. He's in 5th, Carl Smith in 6th, Yuri Kulin in 7th, Hayden Wild in 8th, Morgan Pearson 9th, and Leo Berger rounds out the top 10 in the Race to Qatar standings.
Athletes, you are now in the hands of the starter. Take him on!
So the women's race underway here in Vancouver, and away they go, running off the beach. And
that's a great start from Ashley Gentle there. So Ashley Gentle's in the red cap. Obviously not always known as the absolute best swimmer we've got in the field, but a beach start is something that will really suit Ashley because she's got such good foot speed. She's also from Australia. We know this is the sort of thing they do day in, day out with the beaches and the great oceans they've got to swim in there. So yeah, brilliant start from Ashley Gentle. That's the red cap, and the yellow cap just coming around her now. That is Jessica Learmonth.
So
very different exit to the men. The men immediately were able to start running. The women have got to do some of those dolphin dives because it's just a completely different tide time that they're dealing with.
So out of the water for lap 1 on this De Boer swim course. They will make their way up the Aussie exit through the crowds.
I was just going to say there, the first 3 seem to get out much quicker, much more smoothly than Holly Lawrence, Taylor Knibb and Taylor Spivey behind them. So there has been a little bit of a gap created just as they got out of the water, and you saw Taylor Knibb run around Holly Lawrence and try to sort of correct that, and she knows that now's the moment if she wants to get onto the back of these 3.
Yeah, the drone shot there really proving the point of just how big the gaps are so far in this race.
Blue cap is Julie Derron, the green cap is Paula Finlay, the red cap is Ashley Gentle, all swimming together, but that is going to be a big gap as they now come into the end of just the first kilometre.
Yeah, and as we mentioned earlier, this is tough sand. This will be hugely tiring, I'm sure, because it's not a smooth surface. It's going to zap energy out of the athlete.
And it is those 6 athletes. So the 3 girls who are a little bit distant out of the Aussie exit have made it back on. That's Holly Lawrence in the white cap at the back, Taylor Knibb in the pink cap, Taylor Spivey just in front of her, and then our front 3, as they were, Lucy Charles-Barclay, Maya Kingma, our wild card on debut, and Jessica Learmonth. See there on the ticker that Alice Beto is now out the water. So she was the athlete just dangling off the back of this pack at the end of lap 1 and has been distanced by a further 40 seconds on lap 2, but is now totally alone in 7th place.
Jess Learmonth and Lucy Charles-Barclay, you can see it's a fantastic transition for Lucy Charles-Barclay and indeed for Jess Learmonth. They are able to get out nice and quickly.
Both the Taylors putting their socks on, I can see, so no one else really did that, and it's showing the difference it's made in their transition times.
Certainly has. Taylor's bike there just going in the slightly wrong direction, but she corrects it and she'll make her way out onto the bike course as quickly as she can. Fantastic support from our local fans here. So the inevitable happening in the women's race. Taylor Knibb going round the outside there of Jess Learmonth and taking the lead.
Oh, who's this? We've got Finlay. Is she in the penalty box or has she got a mechanical? It looks like she's taking a penalty.
Yeah. So penalty for Paula Finlay.
That's a really early doors penalty to get there in the race, and it's just not what you want to happen here. A drafting penalty she'll be serving there. So that's not the way that Paula will have wanted to start this course.
Certainly not. And being Canadian, racing at home, this will be bitterly disappointing for her, because she was saying ahead of the race how much being on the podium would mean to her. She's such a consistent performer across her whole career, but particularly in these sorts of distances, she really is a fantastically consistent performer. And you would have bet that she would be...
That's just made it a bit harder for her now, isn't it?
You would have bet she'd be in sort of 3rd, 4th, 5th, that sort of territory. It's going to make it a lot harder, as you say.
I don't know if I've ever heard of Paula having a drafting penalty before, so that's a pretty rare occurrence for her, but she'll have to use that as fuel. Jess Learmonth has taken to the front of the course, so we weren't sure whether we were going to see that or whether perhaps she was going to be happy to let Taylor Knibb do the majority of the work. And on the climb sectors, we've got our fastest, no surprise to probably anybody, is Taylor Knibb with 5:14. Second is Paula Finlay, no doubt, as she tries to make up some of that ground she lost with the penalty. And in 3rd place up the climb sector so far today is Jess Learmonth with 5:19.
This is Lucy Byram. She's made 8 places up to date from the swim, which is impressive by anyone's standards.
So here we are back again with Maya Kingma and Lucy Charles-Barclay, of course, holding currently in 3rd and 4th place, but they've lost, again, nearly 4 minutes at this point of the bike, 60 kilometres into the bike, and they're nearly 4 minutes down. And you can see, of course, Taylor Knibb's already got her socks on. We saw her take the time to put those on in T1. So she will have undoubtedly a faster T2, as I expect Jess to take the time to put those socks on now.
It's always remarkable when you see these athletes going into transition. They're trying to balance the bike. Is that something you practice as well, trying to direct your bike? And especially when you're tired, I imagine that's fatigue-inducing.
Yeah, we usually hold them by the saddle, and they're pretty good in a straight line, as we predicted there. Taylor Knibb going straight out first, and not too slow at all there from Jess Learmonth, going out just a few seconds behind.
42 seconds for Taylor Knibb. She did not hang around. Jess Learmonth, 47 seconds, 5 seconds slower than Taylor Knibb. And already that lead, 9 seconds in front for Taylor. So all eyes on the dismount. Lucy Charles-Barclay just her bike there and actually got overtaken into TT.
That's right. Lucy's never been an athlete to do what we call a flying mount, which is when you run and jump onto your bike at T1, or to do a flying dismount, which we saw Holly Lawrence do and overtake her there coming into T2. So it's not necessarily something that plays massively into racing in middle distance, but it did give Holly just a couple of seconds there ahead of Lucy.
Yeah, you never know, come the end of today, those seconds might prove very valuable. Lucy choosing to sit on the floor.
Yeah.
Most efficient way, she thinks, of getting those shoes on. And out she goes onto the run course. Yeah, I'm excited to see how this one is going to play out.
Now we're panning back here to see Maya Kingma just being overtaken by Holly Lawrence. Holly Lawrence, again, having a phenomenal day, just running herself up there into 4th place. And again, looking great. These girls are putting on a show. Julie Deron passing Maya Kingma, who is just about running again, but she had to stop there. And that is very early on the run to be having to start to walk.
Yeah, we were saying how impressive she was looking on the bike leg. She held her own superbly, but maybe the damage that has done, she's perhaps expended too much energy. Her muscles might just be cramping up. As we look at Meg McDonald,
who also looks to be struggling to go. So Julie Deron is about to make the pass on Holly Lawrence, and we spoke about how good and fluid and compact Holly has looked. But there we go, we've got Julie Deron blasting by her.
She's really round the outside, wasn't it?
Really
Incredible
was.
move.
Again, in miling, for those of you working miling, 5:38 for Julie Deron, 5:59s for Taylor Knibb. So very good running. And as we talk there, that is Julie Deron going past Lucy Charles-Barclay, so she's moved herself into a podium position.
Jessica Learmonth is just having a great run, and if she keeps her pace and the way that she's running right now, not a problem in the world. But as you said, anything can happen. Look at the way that she's getting it done. Look at the turnover. If you count those steps right now, the cadence has to be about 10 RPMs more on the side of Julie Deron rather than Jess Learmonth. Look, Jess Learmonth's a good runner, but Julie Deron and the lady in front of Jess, Daniela Kleiser, just so happen to be the 2 fastest runners in T100 right now. It used to be Ashley Gentle, but look at the way that these ladies have really worked on it. They've worked on their pacing, they've worked on their strides, and they've worked on putting all 3 sports together. Julie Deron now just about goes into 2nd.
So Julie Deron right on the back of Jess Learmonth. It looks like she might just catch her right before the end, but for the time being, our attention is going to focus on Taylor Knibb, who rounds the final few corners. The pass has happened, as Vicky just mentioned. Julie Deron into 2nd. Jess Learmonth will have to settle for 3rd place, but today in the women's race belongs to Taylor Knibb. She had to fight so hard on the bike with Jess Learmonth, but no one could catch her on the run. She's been in a class of her own. The city of Vancouver in the backdrop, a fitting backdrop for the class of Taylor Knibb. Back to winning ways on the T100 here in Vancouver. Taylor Knibb is our winner.
And that's a big smile there for Taylor Knibb. You can tell that she's pretty delighted to put herself back on the top step where she belongs.
I think Vicky, she just, there was a sigh of relief, and it's just like, I knew I was going to get the job done today, and I did it. I'm proud of myself. So well done, Taylor Nick.
There we go, a lovely hug at the finish line as well. Oh, I'm so proud of you. There we go. What a lovely moment.
What an incredible day. What can be said about the Olympic silver medalist?
I mean, you just can't write her off. Even after a day where she perhaps wasn't quite on that top form on the swim or the bike, she still chomped away at that lead of every other athlete in front of her and came home with second place. I mean, she could have shut it down and settled for third. She didn't want to do that. That is the mark of a champion. As we said, she's an Olympic medalist for a reason. Julie Deron, second place here in Vancouver.
Started off as a gloomy day, but the heat haze and the sun now out on a hot finish by Julie Deron from Switzerland. Another second place. And I think, Vicky, that she's just so happy to get the job done. I think it was a tough day.
Yeah, you can see how hard she pushed there. And look at the smile on Jess Learmont's face. And I'm going to try and hold it together here because that is a fantastic result for Jess Learmont. She put it all together. She held it together on the run. She nearly held on for second place. But a podium result for Jess Learmont after that swim and bike. So well deserved.
And dare I say, too little, too late. So far, yet so far away.
I think she'll take the podium, I really do. Thank you, Matt. So here we go. We've got the standings after that race here in Vancouver. Taylor Knibb, of course, was our race winner there with a overall time of 3:30 and the fastest bike time, as you can see in purple. Julie Deron, fantastic finish there in second place. Fastest run of the day for her with a 1:03.24. And third place, first time on the T100 podium for Jessica Learmonth. Further down the field, of course, fourth, Lucy Charles-Barclay. Fifth, Ashley Gentle, who ran her way up quite a long way on that run. Holly Lawrence with another solid performance on return from maternity leave with sixth. Seventh place, Taylor Spivey. Eighth place, our home athlete, Paula Finlay. Ninth place for Lucy Byram. And 10th place with another blisteringly fast run, Danielle Kleiser. And let's have a look at what that does to our overall standings in the lead to our race to Qatar. Julie Deron maintains her lead with 73 points, but with that first place today, Taylor Knibb shoots herself up to second place with 64 points. Kate Woff not racing today, but maintains her third place with 61 points. And Jess Learmont rockets up the leaderboard too into fourth place with 50 points. Lucy Charles-Barclay in fifth, Ashley Gentle in sixth, Taylor Spivey in seventh, Holly Lawrence with another solid performance up to 8th, Paula Finlay in 9th, and Grace Tech rounding out the top 10.
On your mark.
So away we go here in London. As always in the T100, a 2-kilometre swim is followed by 80 kilometres on the bike and then an 18-kilometre run.
Oh, what's happened here?
Oh no,
Somebody's been pulled out of the water.
Ooh.
They seem to be holding their shoulder, it looks like. And that is Megan McDonald, yeah.
So this is footage of her just getting out of the boat, obviously, and hugely disappointing to see. And she looks in quite a lot of pain there, doesn't she? Hey, we've got time to nerd out on triathlon. Don't worry about that. But for now, our attention turns to the exit of the De Boer swim course as our athletes make their way out of the water and this very unique exit to transition 1 up the stairs. Lucy Charles-Barclay, you can see there, Jessica Learmonth as well, and they're all probably taking the slightly sensible decision here of walking up the stairs rather than exhausting their legs in that, but they pick up the pace now.
That would be brutal though, like all the blood flow from your arms and upper body going into your legs, and then I just ran these stairs earlier and tried to do them in one quick swing, and even I had to stop and take a breath without having done a 2K swim as the ladies approach their bikes over here.
It's a really fun transition because, as you can see, we've got all these crowds here. There's a real big buzz that we get in the Excel Centre that's quite hard to recreate in other races. But at the same time, you've then got to go up those stairs, so it's a bit of a catch-22. You get the atmosphere, but it's incredibly hard work.
I've never seen that before. Did you see Lucy holding onto her bike stand for support? That's a very creative way of using transition devices. Very smart. Helmet on, no blips so far. Looking good. Oh, 3,
So Jess Learmont led them out, and it's Taylor Knibb she just lost a few seconds even coming out of the water, didn't she? She wasn't quite attached to them. We didn't see what happened. Maybe she slipped getting out of the water or something, but just a bit more of a relaxed approach maybe through transition.
As we get a replay here of Holly.
That's Holly Lawrence.
Oh,
no, she's missed the course altogether. She just didn't see where she was going.
We thought we were going to see her bottle bouncing off, didn't we?
It's been a rough start, it has to be said.
Yeah, the bottle was already gone.
To the bike leg for Holly Lawrence.
As we get eyes again on Lucy Charles Barclay making the overtake. It took her a while through that technical section. She had to go all the way through the chicanes. As we can see the race ranger lighting up, and she's taken the lead for the first time again since the swim. Taylor's making light work and coming straight past them on this little inclination, and she's the only one who's taken the time to put on the socks, so she'll have a quicker transition, which she obviously paid for. She paid for 5 laps. It took her 5 laps to make up the time that it took to put on those socks. That's amazing.
But she's now going past Jess Learmont, who was in second place, so now she has to go through this technical section, and where she can, if she wants to, collect a bottle, but doesn't at this point look particularly interested.
Projecting herself right to the front of this group and to the front of the race.
Georgia Taylor-Brown has had something happen to her setup. She's slowing down.
Rear puncture, definitely.
Rear puncture, but...
Oh, that's tough to see.
A wheel replacement, but I mean, we're a good minute or so on now from when we saw that happen. And
but this is not one of her wheels. This is
a neutral wheel, isn't it?
This is a neutral wheel that she's gotten, and she's struggling with the chain. Oh gosh, this is...
hopefully the bike mechanic hasn't left too quickly.
Will be wincing, watching.
There we go. Oh dear,
something's not compatible
here.
Not.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I think
cassette. Yeah, you just don't know. No,
but it feels it's come off again. It's unfortunately not taking any of the torque, is it? As soon as she puts any power through, certain components are not compatible with others, and unfortunately we saw Georgia try 3 times there to be able to put any kind of power through her pedals, and each time it just didn't work.
How much she'd love some of that nutrition that she dropped in in this time when she's out the race, but this looks more positive.
Okay, so she's on her way.
She's on her way. Lucy Charles Barclay is leading the pack here in this women's race. She's entering the second transition zone, and she can hear the cheers.
Yeah,
exactly. Cheers of everyone around her in the Excel Centre cheering her on. Brilliant home support here for the British athlete.
That's amazing, and now let's see what she can take from this effort, this huge effort she put in the last lap. If it gives her anything to run out first, I have a suspicion she might struggle to even run out in front of Taylor, but we'll see.
The athletes will practice these moments, trying to do this as quickly, as efficiently as possible. And it looks to me like Lucy Charles Barclay did get out in front of Taylor Knibb. She definitely got out in front of Taylor Knibb, who's still trying to put on
a shoe
there. This looks like a...
Possibly had the laces up a little bit too tight, maybe. The front 4 have gone. Anyone behind her is significantly behind her, and it's, just completely clear area for Lucy.
The first aid station to the right. Kate Woff deciding she does want some water. And it's getting, I would suspect, pretty warm out there. It's quite an exposed part of this run course.
Cheering, she obviously got it into the litter can as Kate Woff threw the bottle there.
Taylor did really well there. There was a slight down and up section, and I think on the downhill, Taylor used a bit of leg speed there to just almost give herself some free speed to catch up to Lucy Charles Barclay, and Kate was able to go with her. So all of a sudden that gap that was 5-6 seconds went down to being 1 second, very, very fast.
Right now, once the gun goes, it's just instinctive. I mean, that's what they live and breathe, and it's not since yesterday. Everybody's been here for years honing their craft. And, you know, what Vicky just said, like reading the wind and running tactically, using the course, just, makes a lot of sense. And still racing so fairly. I mean, Taylor Knibb just passed the bottle around again. This is epic. We haven't seen this yet.
I'm not going to call it too early because that would be silly, but just your mind does start to drift to San Francisco last year, doesn't it? And that epic three-way battle that we had.
Kate Woff right here looking like it's hers to lose. I mean, she's breathing comfortably. She's coming off altitude, which means she'd probably be feeling that boost as she's going right now. And putting on a great performance yet again.
That gap, I mean, you're absolutely right, but that gap is still holding pretty steady to Lucy Charles-Barclay. It's just ticked over 20 seconds, so we're now at a 22-second gap, but it's not blown. Lucy Charles-Barclay doing a brilliant job of really maintaining that gap and just staying ready to pounce in case there was any sign of weakness from Kate Woff. Yeah, she's going to go round the sort of U-turn at the top end of the course here, and this will be her opportunity to get eyes on Lucy Charles-Barclay coming in the opposite direction. And there you see, it's a gap, but it is not a big gap.
Oh, and some grimacing on the face.
I was going to say that, yeah. Goodness me, that did look slightly painful.
But we will get an updated time split soon. That's the ticker claims 12 seconds, so if that's right, she has brought that down by a few seconds. Quick look back there, nervous look back from Kate Woff, but yeah, it's got to be now, Lucy, if Lucy's going to catch to the front. And it's coming down again. We're about at 10 seconds now, the latest update, but both of these athletes are being absolutely buoyed by this home crowd. I mean, this is exactly what the home fans wanted to see, a head-to-head battle between their two athletes here. But Lucy's going to know now. She's getting within 10 seconds. This is really close.
The irony of it all is that roundabout here is where Lucy Charles-Barclay had to pull out of the race last year. And what a way to make amends. What a way to stick the middle finger to fate and just be like, yep, I'm still here. I've got it.
She's going to be going past her any second now. So now Kate has to respond. This is the most nail-biting female finish we've had in T100 history. It's exactly what we want to see. Can Kate Woff raise her game one more time? Here goes Lucy Charles-Barclay.
I knew it. She just doesn't have an inch of patience in her.
Didn't even look. Straight past. What can Kate Woff do now? We have a new leader.
Oh, this is so exciting. Lucy Charles-Barclay overtaking Kate Woff here on the final lap in London. What can Kate Woff do to respond?
She has. Straight away she's gone into the lead there with that decent gap. There's been no response from Kate Woff. I think that grimace that we saw and that look over the shoulder with 1 lap to go was very telling.
The win is well and truly in her grasp.
Getting herself ready, ever the pro.
For the photos.
Making sure the suit's all zipped up. But we haven't seen her run also with this style in a long way.
So Lucy Charles-Barclay, the final few corners, she raises her arms in the air. She's had 2 second places on the T100. She's been the nearly woman of this series. But finally, she is going to win a T100 race, screaming to the crowd. And Lucy Charles-Barclay, congratulations, you are our T100 London champion.
Yes.
Look at that emotion. Look at it pour out of her.
Oh, what a comeback. What a comeback. Everyone loves a good comeback in sports, but this is textbook stuff. Oh my God, stop cutting onions. This is
it's making me go as well. My excuse is being pregnant. I'm not sure what yours is, Jan, but what?
Having seen and lived it.
What an emotional victory, and well deserved.
And Kate Woff rounding that final corner. She gave it such a good effort here. It was almost the victory. Lucy Charles-Barclay had something to say about that, but I think she'll be pretty happy with this result. Kate Woff coming home in second.
Rookie season, what a performance this.
Lucy Charles giving the fans exactly what they want there. Going out and giving some high fives and thanking all these people who've come to scream and cheer her on.
Going the wrong way, Lucy. He's supposed to get. He's supposed to
Find some friends in the crowd. I mean, it is packed. It is packed.
There was a point where we thought we might have a three-way finish. It didn't quite materialise, but Taylor Knibb comes home in third. Yeah, thank you, Alex. I certainly am. And confirmation that it was Lucy Charles-Barclay who got the win in the women's race. The fastest swim and fastest run award going to her. Kate Woff in second, a super impressive performance from her. And Taylor Knibb rounding out the podium in third, the fastest bike leg of anyone. Julie Duron in fourth, Lucy Byram in fifth, Jessica Learmonth in sixth. That makes it 4 Brits in the top 6 at a home race. Ash Gentle finished in seventh, Lisa Pertera in 8th, Hannah Berry in 9th, and India Lee rounds out the top 10. So those are the results from the women's race. Let's see how it impacts the race to Qatar. And it's a two-way tie between Kate Woff and Taylor Knibb on 90 points apiece. Julie Duron not far behind on 87, Lucy Charles-Barclay on 84, and Jessica Learmonth on 60 in 5th. Ash Gentle in 6th, Lucy Byram in 7th. Taylor Spivey not with us this weekend. She's in 8th, Lisa Pertera in 9th, and Holly Lawrence in 10th in the race to Qatar. So the men's race underway here in London. Thankfully, they're all in the water and away. As I mentioned, this is the Aussie exit, and we will start to get some timing splits.
Hoob.
Jan's raised his eyebrows.
Okay, well, there we go. Our first two were right. We're very happy with that,
Vicky.
everybody, aren't we?
Well done.
That athlete there without the hat has come off. That was Antonio Benito Lopez, came through in 6th place there. So all the athletes we'd expect, but a brilliant swim there, going in 4th in that blue hat from Jelle Geens. Jelle Geens, our winner from Vancouver, 2nd place in San Francisco. If he had a weakness, it was the swim. So right now, he's exactly where he'd want to be. That's Justus Nieschlag going in again. His hat seems to have come off as well. And that's Hayden Wild. That 2nd blue hat was Hayden Wild, and he is nowhere near the back of this race.
So the men make their way out the water. They have now done both of their 1 kilometre laps onto the pontoon, up the stairs. Again, very unique aspect of this course at the Excel Centre here in London.
Leo still let it out of the water. I think that's Menno who's overtaken him. Jamie Riddle, I saw. Oh, no, it's Rico. Sorry, it's Rico who's come out and sprinted up the stairs past him.
Yeah, that's Jelle Geens running into 3rd. A fantastic swim from him, both laps. Jamie Riddle, Antonio Benito Lopez there, pink cap of Mika Noot and Justus Nieschlag. So a lot of these athletes pretty tightly packed. I think that's Gregory Barnaby coming up now, yeah. And potentially that was Wilhelm Hirsch right at the back of that group as well. So big pack still at the end of 2 laps.
Yeah, huge pack, and I think the other athletes will be looking on in horror seeing Rico Bogan right at the front here, because what he can do on the bike, the sort of gap he can open up, as he has done on the T100, did it in San Francisco and made it all look very simple. This, though, Hayden Wild just entering.
Kyle Smith.
Kyle Smith,
Kyle Smith at the front.
Him.
I think Hayden Wild might just be in this pack behind.
Yeah, there he is, holding that blue hat in his hand, running through screen there. So Hayden Wild, not right at the front of the race, but not too far down at all.
Rico Bogan still out in front.
Yeah, the last time check I saw, he had about a 17-second gap. There we go, it's just updated to 23 seconds now on current 2nd place Leo Berger, who's riding with Mika Noot. So early stages on the bike, but Rico Bogan already making moves.
He just looks good on a bike, doesn't he? His power just translating. He's very smooth in his upper body. A little bit of moving around, but extremely strong. Leo Berger, which is nice to see after he's had some struggles on the bike to get in. Mika Noot in 3rd.
To do what he's done is quite remarkable. He's been using oxygen therapy. He's been rehabbed at the Red Bull Performance Center in Austria. So he's essentially made it his life's mission for since getting injured to get back to the sort of shape where he could compete at a T100 race. And I think seeing him here today is a
well, I'm sure there's an awful lot of people, I know there will be an awful lot of people who are involved in that rehab and recovery, but it's just amazing what the human body, I think, can do.
Oh, something's gone wrong here for Carl Smith.
Yeah, another mechanical here by the looks of it, or maybe a flat.
So we've only had 4 athletes hand in wheels, and it looks like this is a matching disc. But time trial wheels are notoriously difficult to change.
Disc wheel brakes in general are just so much slower than the sort of the old school brakes that you can kind of whip them out pretty fast. But with gains in braking and aerodynamics, unfortunately, comes a slower wheel change.
And this is different to the Tour de France, where you see the mechanics giving you a push up to 20, 25 k's an hour, depending on how
and
fit the mechanic
a whole new bike as well.
And a whole new bike at times.
Yeah.
Looks like he's lost the bottle there as well, so he's having a tricky one.
Rico Bogan has seemingly built out a bit more of a lead there. Now well over a minute that he's got over Mika Neitz.
And right now you can see he can keep some of the pace off the bike and get straight into his running stride, which for now looks pretty smooth. His blue Erdinger suit matching the carpet that we've got.
his cycling shoes want to keep touching the carpet, but he's doing a decent job of directing the bike as they start to settle. And he'll mount his bike in these pods, which we have specially built for us here on the T100 circuit to hold the bike in place. Socks go on, shoes will go on, and he'll begin the run leg.
Bravo, you can see the socks there just half peeled down, so you can slip in as fast as possible. No hiccups on the shoes, and he's out. What a way to take the race. He's out before anyone else is into T2. He has set himself up for success. Right there, you can see him at the far end of the screen as Hayden Wilde leads Mika Neitz into transition zone. And these guys are still in their bike shoes while Rico is out front, gaining time on the run.
They've definitely got someone to chase down. Make no mistake about that. Rico Bogan, I'm sure, will have something to say, though, about how quickly the likes of Hayden Wilde, Mika Neitz, and those behind can catch up. How does he look? Good? Yeah.
Hayden looks smooth. He's got his composure for now. He's got his very typical running style. Yeah, it's just amazing. He looks like he did 4 months ago.
I know, and I'm so excited to see what he can deliver today. We've talked about it seemingly endlessly, haven't we? What's he got in the tank? How much can he afford to have lost from that dominant win that we saw in Singapore? But yeah, here we go. Here is the moment where we actually first get eyes on Hayden Wilde as he hits the run course in a second place.
Nice quick transition there from Hayden. Mika Neitz not far behind.
Yeah, but come on. These guys running together after a lap, that is somewhat strange. I mean, doesn't speak for Jelle having his best day.
No, he is just, as we said, that going round. But you're right, without any disrespect at all to Menno Koolhaas, the way Jelle Geens has run at points over the last year in T100 racing, we would have expected him to start taking out some time on the athletes in front of him.
He just has created this gravitas around him and his personality, and how he just seems to have joy as he makes his move right here.
Sheltered.
Just before it goes up, and yeah, that's
clever.
Not even a try.
I really thought this is what he was going to do. He's come into the Excel Centre now. They're sheltered, even though they're slightly into a headwind. He's put an effort in up the hill. He's going to get the boost of the crowd, and then he's going to head out into the tailwind. It was a tactical piece of running. I mean, look at the gap he's put in there.
That's extraordinary.
He's barely breathing.
I mean, this guy, he's literally bionic right now. It's unreal. And his cadence is really high. He looks really good. He looks smooth.
Now he's running.
Exactly. Now he's running. This is the Jelle Geens that we're used to seeing, right? And
he's put a minute into Hayden.
Yeah.
A minute. He came 4 minutes off the bike.
There you go. So he is moving.
That doesn't just look fast. It is fast.
Yeah, I think when Rico starts to tie up, as we've seen him do here, he starts to get very toey, to sort of bounces around on his toes, doesn't he? And he's not really using any leg strength or glutes or anything to propel himself forward, which you can see that Yelagines is doing really well as he glides past him. Whereas Rico sorts of dancing along on his toes, but he's not getting any purchase or any power off the ground as he does it.
On the T100, week in, week out. So Hayden Wilde, thumbs up from the crowd. A punctured lung, broken ribs, an injured scapula, all within the space of a few months. He's on the blue carpet and perhaps the emotion starting to show, because this Kiwi athlete is built of something quite extraordinary. Hayden Wilde, 2 wins from 2 in the T100 this year. What an incredible, logic-defying performance.
You can see this is emotional for Hayden, and I really love to see that because he has been through such an extraordinary amount in the last few months. And here's the moment where it all pours out, and again, getting emotional up here in the commentary box, and sport will do that to you. That's the beauty of it. These lovely moments with Hannah. She's also obviously wiping away the tears. What a victory, Hayden Wilde. Welcome back. Stunning performance.
And while Hayden Wilde celebrates a truly remarkable result, Mika Nut has taken out the hairband because this is a super special result for him as well. The German taking the blue carpet, 2nd place on the T100. This is his best ever T100 result. He held off a charging Yelagines and crosses the finish line. He's just got one more to go. I wonder if that win, it's not going to be far away.
He's become such a consistent athlete, hasn't he now? 2 third places and a 2nd place, along with, what was it, 5th at the first race of the series, back in Singapore. He's also 9th in Singapore earlier this year, so just some such solid racing from him. He's going to be after that win.
Yeah, you bet. He's committed to the T100 this year. Those are the races that he wants to race in, and he's being rewarded for doing exactly that. Our winner last time out in Vancouver, Yelagines, put in a mighty shift on the run. He was able to catch Rico Bogan to make the final podium place. He looks absolutely shattered. He's expended an awful lot of energy. The smile starts to come. Yelagines rounding off our podium here in the men's field. I think they'll probably all take a look at Hayden and go, what?
You're like, mate, what was that? we thought we had a chance today, and then you went and did that. Yeah, I mean, what are we going to see from Hayden Wilde later on in this series? If he can do that within 100 days of a near career-ending crash, what next?
And celebrating like he's won the race, because he's been through a lot this year, has Menno Koolhaas. He's come back from injury, and that's what it means. Crossing the finish line in 4th.
Yeah, we love to see that emotion and that passion, and Menno's someone who desperately wanted to be here in the series. He wanted to be in Vancouver. He just couldn't make it back in time. And he is delighted. Look at that. Welcomed across the finish line. Brilliant.
Just
Absolutely
goes
love
to show,
see that.
doesn't it, the toll that these injuries take on these athletes, and how much they have to dig deep in those cold winter months when things aren't working out, rehabbing, doing physio, all of the things required to be a professional athlete. These moments make it all worth it.
Rico looks like he's just about held off the charge of Mathis Marjurier. We saw him look behind just as he came into the Excel Centre there. But he has rounded out our top 5 today.
Thank you very much, Alex. Great to get the thoughts of our winners and 2nd place there with Mika Nut. Just confirmation then of the men's results. Hayden Wilde emerging here in London victorious. Mika Nut in 2nd, and Yelagines rounding out the podium with the fastest run of anyone here in London. Menno Koolhaas in 4th, Rico Bogan in 5th, Mathis Marjurier in 6th, Yuri Kulin in 7th, Wilhelm Hirsch in 8th, great result for him, Gregory Barnaby in 9th, and Leo Berger with the fastest swim of anyone in 10th. And let's take a look at how that impacts the race to Qatar standings. Yelagines, well, with a nice lead at the top there. 9 points the difference between him and Mika Newt. Rico Bogan in 3rd. Martin van Riel not here in London, so he moves down into 4th place on 73. Hayden Wild on 70 points. 2 T100 races in 2. Those are the wins. And then Yuri Kulin in 6th. Antonio Benito Lopez in 7th. Carl Smith in 8th, Leo Berger in 9th, and Mathis Margerier in 10th.
On your mark.
Marion, we have a great start here in the French Riviera.
And we are underway here at the San Rafael Vayat Plage for the T100 French Riviera. What a stunning location we have to bring you here today as the athletes take to the gentle waves, I would say. Some small little white caps in there. But it is a really, really stunning morning. The sunrise has been absolutely incredible here as the athletes take to this challenging, unique and iconic course that we've got for you today in the French Riviera. So right up from the start there, that green cap that you can see, that is Rico Bogan. No surprise to see him right up there. And next to him in the purple cap, that is Kyle Smith. On his feet, I believe, is Sam Dickinson. And so here we go. He can't see very well. Yeah, you go shading his eyes. So that just shows what they're dealing with out there. They're swimming directly into the sunlight, into the sunshine at this early hour in the morning. Hayden Wild is in that pack, and we know what caliber of athlete Hayden is. We know what he's done in terms of his extraordinary comeback into the sport this year. But it's worth saying that in London he was about a minute down coming out of the water, and that's not going to be the case today. He is still in that pack, so he's going to come out in touch with the leaders, which just makes it such a hard day for everyone else when Hayden is there from the go. You know, you haven't had any chance to put time in on him.
Like you mentioned, Vicky, you know, he was behind in London, but he really does just show testament to the fact that he knows how to claw his way back to recovery in the most professional way possible. And I think we're going to be see some very surprised faces in the next few seconds.
Being one of the first onto your bike just means you don't have to worry about that congestion. Think of the distance from front to back of that pack. It's huge, so really important for someone like a Morgan Pearson and a Sam Dickinson to maintain the lead they've built in the swim and get out early onto that bike course.
But this is now with the lead of the men's race. Sam Dickinson of Great Britain. Emma, what impressed you most? Because I think you can make a case for each discipline being super, super impressive. So the swim, the fact that he had the shoulder injury, that's impressive. But then the fact that he also was able to get back on the bike and produce the sort of bike power that he did. But then the run, he made the run look so effortless. I mean, for you, what was the most impressive part of that comeback?
I think he's process orientated. He's just so goes about doing what he needs to do in order to improve, and in this case, recover, get better. Obviously pain, manage pain, but then, you know, find technique. Curious to know if he has any tactics for himself and whether he or not he can play to those strengths on this sort of course. Probably he's never had the unique ability to ride it the way he can now and take any line he wants. Whoa, oh dear.
Oof, that was a bit hot coming in there, wasn't it? That was a moment. I had to hold my breath there. I thought he might be going over the edge, but he's saved it and he's back with both feet in his pedals. I think he just came in too hot. I think he just came in too hot.
Thinking that whether or not, you know, having a closed course, which he's never had before, just taking in more speed than he's ever been able to take. I mean, that's very unusual.
I think he just got overcooked that corner, got the angle a bit wrong, bailed out early.
He did super well to stay on there. San Francisco had those big, sharp inclines. And just wondering if Carl Smith there is asking for some help with his bike.
Doesn't appear that he's got a flat tyre. I'm not sure if he's referring to the saddle has dropped. That was very hard to pick up. Looks like he's going to take the opportunity to stop.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's a wheel.
Off the bike. And this will be really quite frustrating for Carl Smith. It looks like a saddle, I think you called that, Emma, very good. It looks like his saddle has just dropped down. Really, really frustrating for Carl Smith, this, because he had an excellent swim. He was right up there at the front at the start of the bike. And as we saw with Georgia last week, these moments when you're, I mean, right now in the commentary box, this looks like it's taking minutes as opposed to seconds, which it realistically is, but it must feel horrendous as a triathlete out on the course. And final turn to make before he ends up on the blue carpet and at this transition zone. Interestingly, choosing to dismount really early there, Hayden.
That was an unusual, unusual.
Did he misjudge that, or do you think he did that deliberately?
Yeah, interesting. It's not like Hayden to make mistakes, if I'm honest, but it did appear that he did dismount like right on the blue carpet there. Whether or not he realised the dismount line was a little bit further onto the straight. Let's see. It didn't appear like it cost him anything per se in terms of the distance they came in, or when they were getting off their bike to where they are now in transition. But yeah, in this type of racing, socks, so that can always prove a little difficult even at the best of times too. But he doesn't look super rushed. He looks very calm and very much in control, and if anything, it really didn't change it.
Mathis Majeria, he had just broken off the front of that other little group of three, so he is now the third person in transition. And just as we said that, we saw Yelagines running past in the background, and this is Sam Dickinson, who, again, a wild card athlete, really showing why he's worth a wild card and really going to take so much confidence and heart from the athletes that he is going out of transition with. He is running out of transition with Yelagines, previous T100 winner.
Hayden really turning it on here and pushing out in front to get this lead. All of those athletes behind will now get a sense of just how far ahead Hayden Wild currently is. Well, as runs go, this is
just
beautiful.
Checking out the boats, wasn't he? Did you see him look across there? I think Hayden was just sort of eyeing up his next purchase, perhaps, just seeing which of the boats he fancied.
Need to win a fair few T100 races, Hayden, to get one of those big boats.
Well, at this rate,
Yeah.
At this rate, it might not take him that long.
As we mentioned, it's windy. It's exposed to the sun. It's just coming up to 10 o'clock local time here in France. And right now, Sam Dickinson has made light work there of Rico Bogan.
Pushed past hard there. Did you notice that? There was a definite acceleration, wasn't there? He sort of bid his time a little bit coming up to him, and then pushed past quite hard and trying to establish that gap straight away and not let Rico get to the point where he can sit on him, because there is a big advantage to that when we've got these really windy conditions. So there's Hayden, just as we are so used to seeing him do. Oh, yes, a little thumbs up as he checks the watch. He knows he's on pace. He knows everything's fine, very relaxed. That's just Hayden just showing us that he's in complete control of this race.
He just chooses a point in the course every lap where he knows, what the time gap needs to be, where he is, where he can look back, double checks on the watch. And yeah, I love how he's just always giving feedback to everyone else on course, not necessarily them giving him feedback or splits. He's just so well aware of what he needs to do.
So Hayden Wild makes his way onto the blue carpet. This has been a masterclass from Hayden Wild. In London, he returned, but he's now going to make it 3 wins from 3 on the T100. He's looked calm, he's looked cool, he's looked collected all day, and since the bike, this has been going nowhere else. Hayden Wild is our French Riviera champion. And he barely looks like he's broken a sweat.
Is that poker face ahead of tomorrow, or is that how he feels? I mean, only time will tell, but so impressive.
I think he's genuinely just timed that exactly how he wanted, and he is just purely content that he nailed it.
Well, very good. Yelagines crosses the line in second place. Had to put in a mighty effort there to try and get anywhere near Hayden Wild.
He will be absolutely over the moon. Here he comes,
debut performance from Sam Dickinson on a wild card, and he's hitting the podium.
Yeah, Olympic medalist rounding the final corner. He's made his T100 debut here in France. And Sam Dickinson, I'm sure we're going to see plenty more from him on the T100 over the next few months and years. Sam Dickinson comes home in third.
All right, time to have a look at what happened in the men's race. It feels an awful long time ago now, doesn't it? But Hayden Wild, our winner, with Jelle Geens just behind him. Sam Dickinson rounding out the podium in third spot. Mathis Margirier, the local home hope, in fourth. Rico Bogan in fifth with the fastest bike leg of anyone. Morgan Pearson, look at that, with the fastest swim and fastest run. Gregory Barnaby in seventh. Wilhelm Hirsch in eighth. Antonio Benito Lopez and Menno Koolhaas rounds out the top 10. And then just a quick look at the race to Qatar standings and how it all finishes there, with 119 points for Jelle Geens, a very good day for him. Hayden Wild in second on 105. Rico Bogan in third on 93. Mika Newt also tied on 93. And Martin Van Riel rounding out the top 5.
On your mark.
Here we go. The heartbeat music is on at the start line. Ashley Gentle, Jess Learmont, Paula Finlay.
So away the women go here on the French Riviera. A short run down the beach, straight into the water.
I think that's already Jess Learmont taking the lead. We've not got a close-up on them yet, but there is one athlete who has broken away in the very, very early stages of the swim. And knowing the calibre of Jess Learmont in the water, I would be amazed if it is anyone but her, making sure that everyone knows that this is her thing, this is what she does, and saying, hey, if you want to see me at all on the race today, you're going to have to come catch me, because she's not waiting around. She maintains sort of a really good, strong stroke, pulling a lot of water, catching a lot of water, as we would say, underwater, but with a high cadence as well. And she's been notorious for doing it in short course, and now the same in the T100. She keeps the pace on. There is no slowing down on lap 2 from lap 1. She, if anything, goes harder on lap 2 than she has done on lap 1.
Transition zone. Georgia Taylor-Brown just taking that swim skin off. We'll get on the bike as soon as possible.
We've got a little split on Georgia. She was about 25 seconds down on Jess Learmont coming out the water, and then Indy Lee at the front of that next group was about another minute down again. So minute 25. That's Indy Lee, the first athlete in the red hat there. Ellie Salthouse right behind her. Hannah Berry behind her as well.
I think this course is really, really suited, particularly the bike course, to Ash. So I'm really curious to see if she really tries to work through that pack that she's in and establish a bit of dominance at the front of them as soon as she can.
So yeah, not the best swim, I wouldn't have said, for Paula. I would normally have expected to see her somewhere with Ashley Gentle. So I think Ashley Gentle's had a really positive start for her, and I think Paula will be a little bit disappointed to find herself 2 minutes and 42 seconds down at the water. Yeah, I think she will look at the time split when she comes off the bike, and if it is somewhere still under that 2, even 3 minute range, I think she'll be delighted with that. I think that she'll know that gives her an absolute fighting chance, because as you said, the problem she's had in the races so far is she's been just so far down coming off the bike. While she's still been able to make up positions, there's sort of been no chance that she could get back to the podium. Whereas right now, she's definitely still in contention.
So Jess looking back there, she can see Georgia Taylor-Brown is not far behind. That gap has been pretty much 8, 9, 10, 11 seconds.
Seconds in front again by the time he got to the top. So, here we go. For the very first time since the first steps on the beach in San Rafael, we've seen a change in lead. It's been Jess Learmont absolutely all day long, and now Georgia Taylor-Brown has just gone round her. So for the first time, we are an official duo at the front of the women's race.
I mean, she's been moving up the field quietly, but that was a very, very dominating move, and it looks like she almost is wanting to employ the same thing now on Georgia Taylor-Brown to come around and take the lead of this race.
Yeah, it certainly does. So Lana Siffer going right into the front of this race, overtaking Georgia Taylor-Brown. And she doesn't look like she's going to let up here, putting the power down. Wow, that really is quite incredible.
Don't think it's going to be the last wild card we see for Alana Siffer, do you?
Definitely not.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll be back on the T100. She's making quite an impression so far, but...
And she will be knowing as she's putting on her shoes and going out now, there's no one else in sight. There's no one else here. I can't see anyone coming down the road towards me.
I think we're going to see an incredible run from her, personally. I think she's going to know that she's, or have the confidence that she's, you know, had a much better bike than she did a few weeks ago. And, you know, really on a run, there's not all that much can go wrong. We haven't had any updates that she's lost nutrition or any mishaps in that regard. So I think, you know, for her now, it's a matter of just, you know, keeping it together and you know, capitalising on everything that she's been able to put forward so far.
Notice no socks there for Jess, whereas Georgia took a moment to actually sit down in transition.
Put in front.
Yeah, he's just started to finally get that gap on Rico that he's struggled to.
I was gonna. What? Do you see them just touch?
Just a little sort of low five. Yeah. A little bit. Nice to ride with you. Catch you later.
Yeah.
Georgia will know she's got to go to work now. Georgia, the caliber of runner that she is as well. But now we're back with Ashley Gentle, who again probably hasn't yet had a time check but will do soon. I think she's going to be really encouraged. I think she's going to know that what she's done there so far on the swim bike has really put her in contention for a podium again today. Well, it was such an open start list really before they started today. I think there will have been a good handful of them thinking, I might be able to win today, and even more thinking, I might be able to podium today. And now they're out on the run and they're all so tightly packed. We have not seen a women's race like this ever in a T100, where the top 10 athletes are all within 3 minutes in the first few kilometers on the run. This is really close racing. Someone like Paula Finlay, who's just moved herself there into 3rd place, is again going to be taking confidence with every step that she goes, fancying her chances as well. Right now, Paula needs to take a moment and just shake hers out, because you can see they've risen up quite a lot. I mean, she sort of runs a little bit like that anyway, but just they feel like they're creeping a little bit higher and higher. So just shake those shoulders out. Give yourself a moment, relax, and try and use those fast feet of Ashley Gentle to pace off for a little while. Just a few seconds. It's not 18 seconds anymore, is it? It's not 12 seconds anymore. That gap is 2 to 3 seconds, and Georgia's taking a look across to look back at the other athletes that might be coming towards her as she takes the lead. And I wonder if she even knows she's at the front.
I think she's also very well aware of Ash and Paula.
Yeah.
I think she
and
really
a minute behind, she'll be able to see them at that point of the course. We are about to see the pass. Ashley Gentle, who has not won on the T100 Tour since London of 2020. No, Ibiza, I beg your pardon, of 2024. She will be... No, I was right the first time it was London. I was right. I shouldn't have second-guessed myself, should I? London of 2024 is about to hit the front, and the confidence that this will give her, I just don't think we can underestimate it.
Yeah, makes the pass past Georgia Taylor-Brown, and she is now in the lead of this race. Ash Gentle leads a T100 race.
And there you go, Paula Finlay just going past Georgia Taylor-Brown as we speak now, and I don't know if Georgia has anything left back in that tank of hers, but now is the moment she's got to really use Paula Finlay to try and reignite a little bit of something on this run for her. She looks a little bit fatigued now, and right now we can see her losing time on Paula, and any second now Indy Lee is going to overtake her, so we're going to have yet another change in these podium positions. And again, Paula Finlay not too far in front.
Yeah, so Georgia just taking a look over her shoulder there, seeing India Lee fly past her.
Again, she's pressed on hard there, hasn't she? She's really made an effort to pass at pace. And all these girls will be running past Georgia Taylor-Brown thinking, I can't let her sit on my shoulder. I've got to move and I've got to go.
One of the final corners that she's got to make here. The finish line firmly in sight. By her standards, this year has been tricky. It's not been quite up to what she is used to. She sets the highest of standards here on the T100. But as Vicky Holland said, form is temporary, class is permanent. Ash Gentle, you are back to winning ways on the T100. And she will be absolutely overjoyed at that win.
Trying to give her a big lift up in the air there, Josh.
Didn't quite fancy
giving
fireman's carry.
giving Josh a warning there. No, don't pick me up, please.
So not far behind her, and as we just mentioned, her best result on the T100. Paula Findlay is gonna round that final corner, make her way down. She's battled hard on this race here on the French Riviera. She's going to come home in second place, and it's going to feel very, very good. Paula Findlay comes home in second.
There we go, what a smile, Indy Lee, a little fist pump, her third podium on the T100, the smiles, the emotion as she crosses the line.
Yeah, thank you very much, Vicky. I have to say, it's very blustery down here. We're just getting set. So confirmation then of the women's results here. Ash Gentle coming home in first place, the fastest run of anyone. No surprise there. What a monumental run that was. Paula Findlay coming home in second, and India Lee rounding out that final podium spot. And let's see where that leaves us in the Race to Qatar standings. Julie Duron not with us this weekend, but she still sits at the top on 96 points. Kay Woff and Taylor Knibb on 90 points apiece. And Ash Gentle propels herself in with 89 points into fourth place. Lucy Charles-Barkley in fifth on 84. Lucy Byram in sixth. Jessica Learmonth on 68 points in seventh. Paula Findlay in eighth. And Hannah Berry and Taylor Spivey round out the top 10 of the Race to Qatar standings.
So away we go here in Spain, our fifth stop on the T100 this year. Up first, a 2 kilometre swim on the Debord swim course, broken up into 2 1 kilometre laps. That's a really great shot there, because you can see them start to hit dry land, or not even dry land, sorry, land. It's still very much wet as they're coming out the sea. And the various techniques there on offer as they make their way out of the water. And we're going to start to get our first timing splits.
I have a feeling that Sam Dickinson. I think if there's something that the Brits have done well is their ins and outs on the beaches, and that's been, you know, just some great work, and dare I say, spending some time down in Australia more than likely.
Well, that's Hayden Wildbear in the pink cap, not far behind his rival this season, emerging as Yellow Geens. Some going for the walk, some going for the porpoise, but they do make their way onto the beach now. And you can see them all come together, couldn't you?
Not knocking over your helmet, just going about the process.
So Sam Dickinson getting his swim skin off. Rico Bogan.
He's opting to go for socks already.
Yeah. And because they're all so close together, quite a chaotic transition zone. A lot of them all within a few seconds. So Hayden Wild makes his way out of that transition zone.
It appears someone has also already knocked off a bottle.
Yeah.
You can see it.
So I think that's is that number 6? Yeah, that's Carl Smith.
So it sounds like Carl
didn't see a card presented there.
But you could overhear him saying that he had been blocked.
Carl Smith making his point known as they're still bunching up here. Hayden's in the mix, don't forget as well. There he comes.
They hit the run, they might have that full glaring sun. I don't think it's anything out of the ordinary. The humidity is not extremely high like the likes of, say, somewhere like Singapore. I don't think, given the conditions right now, it's a problem, but I tell you who is struggling is these.
Yeah, so right now we've got Rico Bogan and Carl Smith both being, well, we assume, given a drafting penalty. And they're being made to wait here. Carl Smith shaking his head, clearly not happy with what's happening.
It is a super frustrating place to be. Like, nobody wants a penalty, but in these circumstances, like, it is race rules, as unfortunate as it is. And you have to, like, as part of like adapting to racing and knowing how to, you know, use your adrenaline before the start, you also need to know how to contain your emotion and energy in these sorts of circumstances. And someone like Kyle really does wear his energy and his heart on his sleeve. And I think for him, he's really, like, you at this point in the game, you can't fight it. Like, it is what it is. You've been handled the penalty, but you can also just waste a heck of a lot of energy arguing over something that really can't. Nothing can be done about it right now. They're not doing it easy by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, as easy as he's making it look, if you want a reflection of just how hard Rico Bogan is working, you can see the sweat there dripping down, almost like one drip a minute. Sorry, one drip every 10 seconds, wasn't it? It was very, very sweaty work out there as the heat starts to come down here in Spain. Just back with the back of the field in the men's race, you can see Jessica Learmonth and Kate Woff there overtaking him. It looks like he's got an issue. Looks like he's got something perhaps not right.
We really don't know how he's going to fare. Is he going to get excited when he sees Jella's heels? I don't know.
You would have to think so. I think any of these athletes that have got the opportunity to be reading the back of their race suits, it's got to give you some level of confidence.
So into the transition zone they come. 80 kilometres done, 2 kilometres in the water done, just 18 kilometres left in this T100 race. Rico Bogan getting his helmet off, really weathered the storm of a really challenging bike ride, as we said. Had that drafting penalty. What have you seen?
Shoulder to shoulder, did you see it?
Yeah.
But Owen Jella's had a quicker transition than Hayden.
And yeah, Jella out in front, which didn't happen in France, and Hayden still got to take his helmet off. And he takes his cap and he gets away. But yeah, you're right, that was a decent transition from Jella.
Jella was very quick out there.
I mean, I just think coming in after 80k of bike and 2k of swimming to be able to turn it around that quickly is always so impressive.
That's Jella Geens, but lurking behind, 10 seconds behind in fact, is Hayden Wild. So he's managed to close the gap a bit. It was 18 seconds just at the start of the run. So Hayden running quicker than Jella. I guess the question is, has Jella got anything else? And how hard is Hayden pushing? Yeah, he's done that with Rico a few times this season. He's just sort of lingered behind.
It's just, you know, it's almost like, you know, like in training, you have these nemesis on your shoulder, like you use them all the time. And right now, Hayden's just literally playing to that and just breathing down his neck.
Go, 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 go.
Well, either way, it really is setting itself up, isn't it, for an incredible finish here. And Hayden's now gone into the lead.
Hayden's deciding to take some ice and letting, tactically, whether he's just also... He plays a different game, if I'm honest.
Managed to take out a tiny bit of a lead there over Jella. I say a tiny bit, it's actually gone to sort of 3-4 meters, something like that. No longer racing right next to each other. Hayden Wild is potentially making a decisive move here.
You can see him, he's just starting to stride out. He's kind of like throws his arms a little bit, almost, just kind of relaxes himself. And I mean, it's so crazy how relaxed he looks going this speed.
He's really pulled away, hasn't he, from Jella, Emma?
He's put in, it didn't appear like a huge surge, but I feel like he's just slowly put his foot on the accelerator to a point where the elastic band just broke relatively quickly, just in a way that I actually don't need to put a sprint on. I just need to put my foot down, but break Jella, and it looks very clear and evident that he's done that in a very short space of time.
But not long left to go. The final few corners for Hayden Wild, who quite frankly is making this T100 business look rather easy. He's onto the blue carpet. He's got a run that knocks the socks off of even the great Yellow Geese. He raises his finger in the air. This is going to be 4 wins in 4 races for Hayden Wilde. And the scary thing is, it's his debut season on the T100. Hayden Wilde wins here in Spain.
I think for Yella, he realises that he's put his best out there today, given, you know, Hayden, there's always only one winner. There's always someone better on the day, and today that's proven to be the case. So what he feels after this and what he goes back and does, you know, for the drawing board for the rest of the season, yeah, I think he's probably going to be scratching his head a little bit.
Well, I'll get to ask him in a few moments' time, but Yellow Geens onto the blue carpet. A few high fives with the brilliant crowd we've got here in Spain. But this has to be the most exciting battle right to the death. Jonas Schomburg, I think he's just found an extra gear on that final few 100 metres. This roundabout, he's making his way through onto the blue carpet. There it is. An incredible performance from an athlete who only 6 days ago raced full distance. This is so, so impressive. I cannot wait to understand what his week has consisted of. But Jonas Schomburg over the line, and he can take a very well-deserved seat.
Truly incredible. I actually wonder what Hayden's got to ask Jonas about that.
Mathis Margirier coming home in 4th, and another hugely impressive performance from Sam Dickinson. He was on the podium in France. Couldn't quite get onto the podium here today, but make no mistake, 5th place in this field is hugely, hugely impressive. I get the feeling, Emma, we might just be hearing more about Sam Dickinson on the T100 in the future. Race results down here. And just confirmation then that it was Hayden Wilde who won the fastest run of anyone, which again is no surprises given how easy he made that look. Yellow Geens came home in 2nd. Good, interesting to learn about that bike crash as well. And Jonas Schomburg, as we've just spoken to him, he finished in 3rd. Mathis Margirier in 4th. Sam Dickinson with the fastest swim of anyone in 5th. Moreno of Spain in 6th. Yuri Kulin in 7th. Mene Koolhaas in 8th. Gregory Barnaby in 9th. And Rico Bogan with the fastest bike of anyone. That's a clean sweep, I think, in the T100. He finished in 10th. So here's what it means for the standings. And Hayden Wilde with a perfect 140 points, which he will take to Qatar. Yellow Geens in 2nd, and Rico Bogan in 3rd. Mikinu obviously not here this weekend, but he's in 4th. Mathis Margirier propels himself up the standings with another good result here. Martin Van Riel in 6th, Yuri Kulin in 7th, Gregory Barnaby in 8th. Antonio Benito Lopez also not here this weekend in 9th, and Mene Koolhaas rounds out the top 10. So the women's race underway here in Spain.
I'm going to claim it. The Aussie, Ash, she nailed it. I mean, she did she had the hips moving really wide, the knees really moving wide. You could really see the difference in technique if, you know, someone like Lucy Charles, an incredible athlete, incredible swimmer, but look where Ash is compared to Lucy, just out of getting and taking those first few strokes out of the water.
So Lucy Charles Barkley, I was going to say she does start to do her walk, but...
And that's where it's sort of, you can see that it's almost like what we would have said, like a little bit of a sandbank, then a little bit of a dip, and another bit of a sandbank again as they run out of the water. But Lucy doesn't look all that stressed, if I'm honest. She looks really quite calm and just able to keep a nice, comfortable pace. Lucy, the only one in 3 weeks lining up for a world title, so really interesting to see where she's at. She's had some great, consistent results on the T100 this year, and I think, you know, coming out and getting used to the time zone and also having the ability to prepare in the heat is really advantageous. So nice to see her, you know, coming around leading that second chase group.
She's going to be a force to be reckoned with, I think. But there she is, making her way out of the water. All of these 4 athletes look pretty much out of sight of the rest of the field so far. We're going to start to get an understanding of the timing gap. But for the time being, they might have a look over their shoulder and realise just how far out in front they are.
Yeah, it's you don't often see what I would say what we used to racing, what was the once normal.
Yeah, technology is certainly moving on, but maybe the old ways are the best ways when it comes to dry suits. I don't know. We'll see. So Lucy Charles-Barkley just clipping up her helmet. Jess Lim nice and quick out of transition there. Kate Woff with that white helmet. And all four of them away. So as they make their way onto the course, we've now got eyes on the chasing pack. And that right there, that's Caroline Pohl. Yeah.
It's nice to see her back, but she's she did have a great win actually in the end, in probably one of the closest sprint finishes we've had in a 70.3 not long ago. So in contention to have, I think, a great race, but also a great second half of the season.
Yeah, it's a long season, isn't it? Just because the opening or the top part of the season is tough doesn't mean that's going to dictate your results for the rest of the year. Someone who knows probably about that is Ash Jensor, given the difficulties she has had this season compared to last year. But she's got a bike, she's got a helmet on, and she's going to get out onto this bike course.
And by when they hit the run later this afternoon, that the heat was going to be actually really peaking and very deceptive.
It's definitely deceptive because, you know, you're kind of out there, it's cloudy, you're on the bike, you've got this nice wind in your face, you're thinking, it's not too hot. But the moment you put those run shoes on and start running out hard, it's going to definitely hit a few athletes who've not prepared their hydration properly.
I literally didn't do well, did I? She overtook me. I was taking a gel. Did you see it?
I didn't.
What a joke.
We were in the back.
I want to see the evidence, honestly. It's a right joke.
So
Lucy came past me. I didn't even do anything. Yeah. Can I have a look?
Yeah, so that was Jess Lim getting a drafting penalty.
5 seconds.
Being told by the marshals and officials exactly what happens. Will be, you could hear the frustration, couldn't you, from Jess? She feels like that wasn't quite how she saw it. Will make their way onto the second transition zone. And Emma, look, I mean, as positions go for these two athletes, this is right where they want to be, and it also potentially gives us an amazing opportunity to see them battle again on the run.
Interesting that the different dismounts. Kate's still got the short course racing flying dismount,
which was quicker.
it always is quicker, and Lucy, you know, more accustomed to probably just being able to afford the time, you know, longer distance races with her transition. So, but it's certainly something that's always worth practicing.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing that for the first time in a race, that's for sure. She made it look very, very easy. So stocks going on for Lucy Charles-Barkley. Stocks going on also for Kate Woff. But pretty much the gap that they went into the transition zone, they come out.
They were almost in unison. I felt like each of them had one sock on, then the shoe. They were almost. Oh,
Lucy's
dear,
dropped something.
What did she? She looked like she had a plastic bag with something in it, and
yeah, looks like it might have been some nutrition or a gel, perhaps. So Jessica Learmonth, she had a penalty for drafting in that bike leg. You would think she would be right at the very front. She's going to have to make do with being in third at the moment.
Oh, it appears that both of them are dropping nutrition out of bags and pockets.
Contagious. So that is Hannah Berry making her way into the transition zone. Caroline Pohl just behind. This is the chasing group. These are the athletes that will hope to catch up to Kate Woff and Lucy Charles-Barkley.
India Lee there also, who third in the French Riviera just also 3 weeks ago. I'm going to try and hunt down that sort of breakaway of girls, and she's proven it before, and I think she's gaining momentum.
So that is Ash Gentle coming into transition, 6:19 back at that last checkpoint.
I would still say India Lee, you know, I think she showed her form in Fréjus just 3 weeks ago, where she almost like pegging them off and just one by one. So I still believe that, you know, probably India would be my pick at this point in the game.
But cannot wait to see how this one unfolds. As we said, in London, we were treated to an incredible battle between both of these athletes, and it looks like exactly the same is happening again. Jess Learmonth really holding firm here in third position. So back at the front of the race, is that a little push that Lucy has put in there on Kate Woff?
Yeah, it does appear like she has decided that now is the time. I'm going to back myself. I'm going to, yeah, maybe her race plan is a negative split this and put the pressure on Kate.
Yeah, well, that's definitely a gap that's picked up. They've been racing side by side all day. It looks like Ash Gentle just behind India Lee. And she's catching India at quite a rate here. Ash Gentle overtaking India Lee into 6th position.
Looks like she's got her sights set on a couple more, if I'm not mistaken.
So that was Ash Gentle getting the move done over Hannah Berry, getting the move done over Caroline Pole. She now finds herself in 4th spot. She got her first win in London on the T100 in August. And you start to think she's unlocked the potential of what she can do on this series. It's been a smooth race for Lucy Charles-Barclay in the company of Kate Woff for a short while, but she made a move and she wins here in Spain. 2 wins in 2 races for Lucy. And that kicks off potentially a career-defining period of time in 2025. Yeah, so Kate Woff rounds the final corner. Sunglasses off. It's been a hugely impressive performance from the Brit. She's had a first, she's had a second, she's had a third so far on the T100. Make that another second. Kate Woff comes home here in Spain. So Jess Learmonth makes her way onto the blue carpet. She had a drafting penalty, which perhaps makes this all the more remarkable. Not long to go. She comes home, finishes here in Spain in 3rd, and a little come on there to the sky.
Oh, thank you. Oh, great 1, 2, 3. Absolutely.
So let's take a look then at how the women's race finished. Lucy Charles-Barclay in 1st place with the fastest swim of anyone. Kate Woff came home in 2nd. Jessica Learmonth in 3rd. Ash Gentle couldn't quite go as good as she did in France with the win, but she finishes in 4th with the fastest run of the day. Caroline Pole in 5th, Hannah Berry in 6th, India Lee in 7th, Hannah DeWitt in 8th, Lizzie Rayner on her T100 debut in 9th, and Sarah Perez Sala, the home hope Spanish athlete, comes home in 10th. And this is where it leaves us in the standings in the race to Qatar. Lucy Charles-Barclay and Kate Woff tied on 119 points apiece. Ash Gentle on 96. Julie Duron not racing, of course, this weekend on 96 as well. Taylor Knibb on 90 and Jessica Learmonth on 86 points in 6th. So away we go here in Wollongong, our 7th stop on the T100 Tour this year. Up first, a 2-kilometre swim on this De Boer swim course, broken up into a T100 first, 3 laps, which equals 3 Aussie exits. And Aaron, a beach start running into the sea, I imagine an all too familiar sight for you guys who grew up on beaches exactly like this.
Yeah.
There we go, so confirmation then that it's still that front group exiting the De Boer swim course back into the water. It looks like Lottie Wilms still out in front, Kate Woff in second, and Sarah Perez-Sala in third.
And the great thing is it's an opportunity for these athletes to have eyeballs on each other, to see just how much of a gap they're getting. And you did see Kate Woff and Lotte both look to see exactly where their competitors were, and they will be very happy with this gap.
I think it's growing.
It is growing.
Yeah, yeah.
But here is a good group.
Yeah, and Ash
Big
Gentle
group.
there in that purple hat, you can see as well. So yeah, let's just go through that top 10. Lottie Wilms in first, Kate Woff in second, Sarah Perez-Sala in third, Natalie Van Coriden in fourth, Fenella Langridge in fifth, Hannah de Witt in sixth, Alanis Siffer in seventh, an incredible debut from her in France a few months ago. We look forward to seeing what she can do on the bike, because she certainly was a big factor there. Gelmini of Italy, Ellie Salthouse of course, of Australia, and Leana Bissig of Switzerland round out the top 10. So there we go, that group out in front, coming out the water. They're done with the swim, and they're gonna make their way on the beach through to the first transition zone.
Sarah Perez-Sala that was just slightly out in front of Kate Woff there. De Witt and Langridge that are out as well, so very strong group there. Great to have Nat Van Coveren coming across now, concentrating more on the middle distance. She's from a short course background. Of course, you would know Nat very, very well, Aaron.
Yeah, yeah. She came onto the start of the year flying. Do you remember in Geelong 70.3? She got the win at the Oceania or Asia Pacific, championships, and then she had a little bit of an injury the last couple of months. So
she did a little bit of a running injury,
yeah,
but is over that now and back.
So that's Sarah Perez-Sala going out in front. Kate Woff still in the transition zone. Oh, there we go.
There we go, yep.
Just struggling to get her foot in there. Oh,
nice save.
Me.
That was a nice save.
You don't want to see athletes falling off their bike at the best of times, but in those moments when you're trying to get your feet in your cycling shoes, definitely some of these athletes making it look harder than others.
That it needs to be.
Oh, my goodness me. Maybe there's something in that part of the course that we haven't seen.
Talking of which, look at this. Absolute perfection.
That was very smooth, yeah.
Perfection from Ash Gentle.
There is a slight slope in that part of the course as Ash Gentle makes her way onto this bike course.
I tell you, she has made up some serious time from when she exited the swim to once she's mounted the bike.
And that looks like Alanis Siffer. First chance to look at her on the bike, and it looks like she's putting in a mighty effort to get down to the front.
This is just Alanis Siffer doing Alanis Siffer things. I mean, we are so used, every race that I've watched of her this year, this is just the way she rides. And I know there are a lot of people looking on and cringing right now and like, what is she doing? She is fighting her bike, but it works for her. So why change it? She has often the fastest bike split at every race that she goes to, and she's young, 23 years of age. I'm sure she's the youngest in the field racing today. She loves to race.
That's what's brilliant about this sport. More than one way to skin a cat, as we maybe say in the UK. I'm glad you also picked up on that as well. But that is the move. Enough about skinning cats, because Kate Woff has just taken the lead there.
Leading into, here we go. We've got a shot of that.
Oh, interesting. It might be something to do with the race ranger, potentially?
Potentially.
Do you think she's trying to... Because I was going to say, these guys have been pretty tight for certainly in the time that we've been following on the bike. And you can see there that blue light is safe. It means it's within the... Well, that's 22 metres, the blue light, currently is the distance between them. We know that if it goes red, that's within the danger zone of 20 metres.
That's a card. That's a card for Natalie Van Coveren.
Blue card.
Yeah. So that...
1 minute penalty.
Oh, it is too, yep.
They will enter this transition zone
lightning fast. Yeah. We've had a few accidents in our juniors and under 23s, and even in our para race this morning, where they've come in way too fast, slammed the brakes on,
Look at the crowds.
Oh, that's
look at those
great,
crowds.
isn't
they're,
it?
They're about 10 deep in parts.
Fantastic support for our athletes.
Triathlon in Australia is still doing exceptionally well. Very loved sport, particularly this neck of the woods.
That is how you get off a bike, isn't it?
That is how you do it.
And she looks good as well. You can always tell, not always, but you can tell a lot in those first few steps. And she looked light on her feet, springy, looks really in control.
It is great to see Lotte Wilms. I mean, obviously, DNF in Kona, didn't make it through the bike ride, so she can tick that box for this race. She's made it into transition as Kate Woff starts out on the first of 7 laps.
Let's just say, I think that guy was hoping for a high five. Didn't quite get it.
Didn't get it.
It's far too early to be handed out
I was
high
going to
five.
say, I don't blame Kate there for swerving that one, because the job is not done yet.
See, she doesn't look near as good as Kate did getting off the bike.
Yeah, that's a really, really good visual representation, isn't it? Just how smooth Kate was when she dismounted there. And Lotte Wilms making it look, I would say, a lot harder. She really slowed down, didn't want to risk dismounting while the bike was still moving, came to a complete stop.
As Hannah de Vet also making her way in. Great ride from Hannah. She will be very, very happy.
Yeah, she looks really good, actually, as she came off the bike. Lotte Wilms there was just struggling a little bit, holding her quads and looking like, a bit like we've alluded to there with how she looked coming in, that bike part of the course has just taken out of her a little bit. You can see Sara Perez-Salat just in the background, putting her bike in the pods that we have specially made for our athletes here on the T100.
Still in the hunt, and she looks
really good.
She looks really good.
I don't think I've ever seen Ash not look good.
That is true.
On the run. It's just not fair. It's absolutely not fair. And look, while that is quite a gap to Woff, obviously, I still think for Ash Gentle, everyone else bar Woff
still in play.
Is still in play, absolutely.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
But here she is, Sara Perez-Salat, just doing everything right now. Raced only a handful of hours ago. In second place. I think if we asked her this morning after she finished getting that gold medal with the athlete, with her partner, Susana Rodriguez, she would have said, I'm just happy to be here participating. How far ahead Kate Woff is today on the rest of the field. Just in a different league right now.
Yeah, she really is. And it's kind of been that way all day for the Brit, Kate Woff. Just some data there for you. 5 kilometres done in 17:58, average pace of 3:36. It's not bad after 80 kilometres on the bike, is it?
On this course as well.
Yeah. And that right there is that battle, and it's a lot closer than perhaps we thought.
That's exactly right. So we knew it was about 24 seconds, and that has come tumbling down right now, and it is only a matter of minuscule seconds before that pass is made. And look at that, and there is nothing really that Sara Perez-Salat can do. In fact, anyone that Ash Gentle passes, there's not really much any of them can do.
Very few people come back from an Ash Gentle pass, it has to be said. But there you go, that pass happening by the aid station. Ashley Gentle up into second place. That does remain a 4th place for Ellie Solhouse. That will be her best T100 performance to date. So she'll be, I'm sure, thrilled, especially in front of a home crowd, like we've said.
Big kisses to the crowd. It's the first time I've seen a big smile from Kate, so...
This is becoming her trademark, doing this while she's dominating a race like this, and being able to enjoy the moment, which is ultimately what this is all about. But Kate Woff has got a big smile on her face. She was right at the very front of this swim. She's been right at the front of the bike. She's looked absolutely effortless. And the way this has happened has been effortless all day. It's been smooth as you like. A flawless performance for Kate Woff here in Australia. She wins her 2nd ever T100 race. And she's going to have an awful long time looking behind her for the next athlete. And the smile on her face, I think, says it all. Mere mortals like me can't quite understand how these superhuman athletes can do that. But
Look, a first time the T100 has been here in Australia. Ash Gensel, the queen of the T100, as we've called her so many times. She gets to enjoy this, the blue carpet at home in Australia. Ash Gensel comes home in second place. And the debrief begins, but Sara Perez-Sala is going to come home here in third.
Oh, she's so happy.
As she should be. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she made her T100 debut in Spain last time out. She got 10th place there. She's gone and bettered that and some here in Australia. Rounds out the podium. Perhaps looking the most tired out of all the athletes that have come over the finish line. But
and all three women just so happy. That's what we want to see on the finish line. Kate Woff from Great Britain. In second place was Ash Gentle from Australia. Sara Perez-Sala in third. We had Ellie Salthouse, another of our Aussies, in fourth. Hannah de Vet from Belgium in fifth. Lotte Wilms, great race from Lotte, especially after the disappointment of last week not being able to finish over in Kona in sixth. Liana Besic from Austria in seventh. Natalie Van Kovenen recovering from that 1 minute drafting penalty to finish in eighth. Grace Tech from Australia finishing in ninth. Rounding out the top 10, Alana Siffert from Switzerland. Chloe Hartnett from Australia having a great race to finish in 11th. Els Visser from the Netherlands in 12th. Justine Gerard in 13th. Vanilla Langridge in 14th. Lily Gelmini in 15th. And Rihanna Hughes in 16th. So now, winning so far in the series, out in front after today's spectacular win, is Kate Woff on 128 points. Lucy Charles-Barclay in second on 119 points. Ash Gentle 107, Julie Derrin 96, and rounding out our top five, Taylor Knibb on 90.
So away we go here in Wollongong, Australia. The men's race getting underway. Just in case it's your first time joining us on the T100 this year, where have you been? It's a 2-kilometre swim, an 80-kilometre bike, and an 18-kilometre run. And only then will we crown our Wollongong T100 champion. So as the afternoon sun starts to dip a little bit lower in the sky, it's 3:45 local time here in Australia. We've got a good amount of daylight left, just enough for this race, but this is definitely getting into golden hour, I should say, in this part of the world, which, yeah, is going to look absolutely beautiful.
To swim with the likes of Shannon Eckstein and his crew. So this is a guy that is not leaving any stones unturned, and any sort of weaknesses that he has, he's doing everything within his power to make sure that they are no longer a weakness.
Yeah, that's what you do, I guess, as an elite athlete. You work on exactly those areas that you feel you need to improve. But there we go, Sam Dickinson leads them out of the water, rounds that final corner, and will begin this first transition.
Well, I think this is, we know Mika is a good swimmer, but this is probably one of the better swims he's had. And to be in this position, starting the bike, these boys at the feet just behind him better be ready, because like I said, he's going to go, well, I think he's going to go nuclear.
Oh no, I totally agree. Sam Dickinson out first. You've got Willie Hirsch there as well. Oh, this is going to be dangerous because all of these men are so strong.
But interestingly, more athletes coming a cropper at the end or I should say on the mounting line, as it were. All of them not making this look particularly easy.
Oh, look at this.
Jason West did a pretty good. I'd give him a 7 out of 10 there.
It was very well done, but you can see. Oh.
Jake Birtwistle coming on.
Yeah.
So he's just at the back of that pack, and
goodness me. It's funny, isn't it? Because for athletes who make this sport look so easy, effortless, seamless, all of the things the adjectives we could use to describe how this is, they made that look quite difficult.
And look at this already.
But as we can see, it's not huge, but there is daylight between Hayden, that's Hayden in third, Mika in second, and Sam Dickinson in first, and then there is daylight to Yuri Kulin or Menno Yuri Kulin, I think it is, and then Menno Koolhaas.
Mika Nook there just
That's very much a move. That's Mika taking the lead now of the race with just under 5 kilometres left to go. It's as good a time as any to overtake Hayden Wild. Well, he's doing a very good job right now, is Mika Newt, because that move over Hayden Wild has given him not a huge cushion, but it's given him a few seconds extra down into the transition zone. And you can see there the fans lining this part of the course. And Hayden actually has caught up to him pretty strongly there, so there we go, that is that gap. But now it all becomes about the transition and how smooth and how quick these athletes can get their running shoes on. And you can see already Hayden just making up time in that transition zone. He's closer, he's basically neck and neck now. They're putting their bikes in half a second apart from each other.
He's an absolute master at this. As we said, you know, he doesn't leave any stone unturned. And transitions, I mean, coming from a short course background, obviously he would be very good in transitions. They are crucial in short course triathlon, but look at that. Shoe goes on, out together, love that.
And they've even got the same shoes.
That's ridiculous.
Give us a break in the commentary box, come on. Although, to be fair, now that they've, what's that? That's a gel on the floor.
Did you see, though, he kicked it to make it go in front of him, so then he didn't have to turn around and pick it back.
Oh, don't stop it. This boy thinks of everything.
Well, there we go. That might just be a new hat as well for Hayden. I don't know if we've quite seen him with the bucket hat before.
That was actually his watch that he kicked in front of him. He's just
it was his watch?
Yep.
Ah, interesting, okay. Well, there you go.
So look at that. So doesn't wear the watch on the bike. I'm assuming he doesn't need it on the bike. It's aerodynamic reasons, and he's got obviously his bike computer. But look at this again. So drops it, kicks it forward. Didn't even think. It was almost an automatic reaction. Kicks it in front, just swoops down, boom, picked up, done.
Hardly even had to break stride for it.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Off the bike, great ride from Yuri. When I spoke to him this week, he just seems like he's in a very, very good place.
So interestingly, Yuri Kulin there getting out, and Sam Dickinson sprinting into shot there. And this will be really interesting to see what Yuri can do on the run.
Yeah. I think he'll actually be quite happy with how the race is panning out so far.
I do too.
I mean, the guys from behind us are catching, but he's still holding, you know, as we see here.
Here we go. There's Yuri. So still a fair way behind for Yuri Kulin.
And I hope they understand just how special an athlete he is, because what they're witnessing now is an athlete right at the very top of his game, someone who is, as we always think athletes do when they're right at the peak of their powers, they make it look easy. A bit like Kate Woff, our women's winner, did earlier today. Hayden Wild is doing exactly that.
And isn't it interesting that we've had this, or we're about to have the same outcome as our women's race and our men's races we did in our women's race, excuse me. You don't often see that happen. I know we started racing here on Thursday and we've had just different outcomes every single race. That's Hannah, all rugged up. And did you see? I think she just said, I got fifth. I got fifth.
That's Mika's mum on the side there, giving him some timing splits.
Oh, it's really tickling me, that Mexican wave. Because I love the seriousness of our athletes. And, you know, their entire focus, entire world right now is their race. But then they're so close to those guys on the side. This is great.
I'm not sure some of those tops are meant to be off. Just quietly.
They've ditched the Mexican wave and just thrown the shirt across their head.
Oh, look at Hayden. High-fiving them. Oh, my gosh, what have we got now? This is a scene to behold. Hayden loves it.
I don't think that was lemonade they were drinking last lap.
No, I think you were right. It certainly was not lemonade.
Must have been the red wine last week, Belinda.
Oh, shush, you're not meant to tell people about that, Hayden. Stop it. He did only have one glass, by the way. I, on the other hand...
I was going to say, how many did you have?
I had several.
Oh, brilliant. Well, I think that conversation there just goes to show how much at ease, how Hayden Wild is able to show at this point in the race. While others are struggling, he just looks imperious. He goes into a sort of light jog takes the high fives from this amazing Wollongong crowd here in Australia. Hayden World makes it 5 in a row. A bow to the crowd because he wins the T100 here in Australia. And the truth is, could anyone in the world of triathlon stop this Kiwi athlete right now?
I tell you what, Hayden may have won, but hats off to this young man because he's stayed strong the entire 18 kilometres. He did not falter. He knew he had pressure coming from behind. You know, he's still very, very young. What a race from Mikanut of Germany. Of course, the hair is out, as we expected.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
That long, blonde mane of his.
That will do wonders for his ranking now, getting rid of that 9th place that he had from Singapore.
Yeah, scrap that out.
Replace that with a 2nd, so he's now got 2 seconds and 2 thirds.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
What a performance this is from Yuri Kulin as well. This will be his best result on the T100 since he got that win in Singapore last year.
He is happy too.
He rounds off the podium places, and that's a big, big smile as well. I'd say 3 pretty happy athletes there at the finish line. And yeah, in the meantime, we'll just recap the results of today. Hayden Wild out in front. He got the fastest bike leg of anyone, and Mikanut in 2nd place. Yuri Kulin in 3rd. He had a brilliant race for him. Good to hear him now. Minno Koolhaus in 4th. Rappo in 5th, and Sam Dickinson in 6th. He with the fastest swim, I should say, of anyone. Jake Birtwistle in 7th there as well. So this is how it leaves us in the Race to Qatar standings. No change at the top. He is on 140 points, and he did his best job today of preventing others from getting in. But yeah, 110 points there for Mikanut. A really, really good day at the office.
This was the race.
So away we go here in Dubai under the fierce desert heat. Our athletes are about to endure a world of pain and suffering before we crown our 2025 Dubai champion. Hayden Wild in the yellow cap, unbeaten so far this year on the T100. He had it all his own way, but be in no doubt the rest of the pack are hunting him down. Mikanut, 2 2nd places this year. This has to be the day that he takes the top step to contend in Qatar. They're being directed by the marshal there. You can just see him trying to, I'm trying to work out who that is, but whoever it is has just gone right into the lead. That was
Morgan Pearson
quicker way
who's
around
taken
to do
over.
it. Yeah, so it is.
Look at him, and we've heard that he's in great shape. You know, he is heading for probably his 1 weak link, and he's going to try and make sure that he's out first on this very technical first section, as we see someone dropping their cap and going back and making sure they don't get a penalty.
I think
that was Willy Hirsch. And we are on with Martin Van Riel, defending Dubai champion. But they will have quite a way until they can mount their bikes and then start going through this technical first bit.
You can see it's quite bumpy, isn't it? It's not smooth, as you said, Jan. It's carpet on sand. You don't need to be an expert to work out, but that's quite a challenging. As that was a big bump. A big bump there. But here we go. This is Mikanut at the front of the 2nd group. Hayden Wild just behind. And Hayden Wild there, Jan, he's just racing in his tri-suit. No swim skin for him.
Yeah, and this will be interesting. You see some athletes here making sure they get the sand off their feet, running through those tubs. But Hayden Wild just playing it cool. He's sitting on the feet of Mikanut, making sure he loses as little energy as possible. And he has got a quick transition, and he is somebody who's not afraid of riding by himself. He is confident he can close that gap because he is a complete athlete. And we see Mathis Margier here taking on a bit of cold water and pushing over the sand to make sure that they get on. But this is the advantage of not swimming with a swim skin. You can see he's created a gap for himself. Up at the very top of your screen is Hayden Wild heading out.
So Sam Dickinson was in front, but Martin Van Riel has just taken the lead here in Dubai.
As we see Willy Hirsch here being past Mika Nuut, coming around that corner. This is where the ideal racing line sort of almost gets in the way. But Mika is definitely making sure that Matisse doesn't head up the road without him. Hayden is now comfortably sitting in that front pack.
Yeah, it didn't take long, did it, for him to catch up, and it's tight at the front there. And it'll be interesting to see what Hayden does now. His tactic is just overtake, and he's picking them off here, one by one. Next up, Sam Dickinson as Matisse Margirier goes down the inside there of Vincent Louis. And it's all quite congested. Athletes have got to be careful at this point. You can see Hayden gesturing there, one ahead of the other, but from this angle, they look very, very close indeed. And this will give us a much better look. And that's Hayden Wild, who's already caught up to Martin Van Riel. And maybe some words exchanged between the two of them. Looks like Martin Van Riel as well has lost his visor.
We've got some images. Oh, okay, and I saw this. Vincent Louis was actually pointing to this, and I thought it looked like a bottle, but it didn't. So this is the visor that he's lost somewhere out on the course. Again, totally unintentional. You wouldn't want to ride over it. I mean, it's a fairly sharp piece of plastic.
I wonder if that's what Hayden was gesturing towards one of the officials about, and just trying to point it out and say that needs to be picked up. Because imagine a bike wheel going over that would only end one way.
It's hot, but it's dry, and it's just a very, very different kind of challenge.
Yeah, it certainly is.
He's missed the turn. Oh my God, he has missed transition. Jesus Christ, Hayden, what are you doing? Nope, you're not. You're wrong, buddy.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, and it goes that quick.
So Hayden Wild here has missed the transition zone. And so has Matisse Margirier. Oh my goodness me.
We have just had it confirmed by the officials. They have missed transition. Well, nothing like an extra 8K on the bike. Trust Hayden to do it.
Surely, Jan, surely this has put their race completely to bed. I mean, how are they going to come back from this deficit?
I honestly don't get it, because they've got their power meters in front of them. And I mean, of course, it depends on your data fields. Oh, Martin Van Riel as well. He's missed that opportunity. Come on, Mika, concentrate. Concentrate.
Key question, doing it. Is Mickey Nuut going to come into transition
here? He's slowing down. He is. Wow.
So Mickey Nuut here, Sam Dickinson as well, in absolute pole position in this race. I don't think they'll know what's happened.
No, of course not. They're not going to see any bikes, and they're going to be like, look, he's looking around. He's like, what is going on? Because he's not seeing any bikes. So
he'll be asking the question. He'll be asking everyone.
Oh, this is gold. T100 never shy of some drama as it puts the socks on, an unexpected lead. It almost looks like he suddenly picked up an urgency, because technically the front runners, they wouldn't be disqualified. It's not like you're doing a lap too short.
Yeah.
I don't know the rule scenario in this case, but I know historically at least that the Super League tried, they didn't get disqualified for it. And all of a sudden Mika Nuut is out there, and he now has a realistic chance of winning. But he's got Sam Dickinson to roll through, and these guys are now leading the race.
So the next question really becomes, who else is in transition? Gregory Barnaby, Jonas Schomburg. We'll find out as soon as we can exactly what's happened. But right now, Sam Dickinson out in front and looking very, very good for it.
And Hayden is now going to put on his shoes, and we're going to see his run.
You can see Sam Dickinson there.
He's exactly 2 kilometers behind. Oh my goodness. And we talked about this in the briefing. What happens if these athletes are actually allowed to run together now? Because technically they're not allowed to run together, which I don't think they would. But this is the moment that Hayden Wild knows he has stuffed this up well and truly. And how much of a run has he got? I mean, 2Ks at their pace, that's 7 minutes that he's got to run faster. Well, probably, no, not 7 minutes, a lot less than that. 6:20 in Hayden's terms, but he's got to put on his shoes.
If you want a challenge, Hayden, this is probably your biggest challenge of your career to date. He's putting the ice down the front of his tri-suit. very important, despite everything that's gone on. He needs to keep it cool, and he needs to, as well as Martin Van Riel, Matisse Margirier, you can just see there the 18 kilometers at the end.
No, he still doesn't believe it. He still doesn't know. He's stuffed it up. He's asking what's going on. Well, funny enough, we can see Sam up the road. He's got to close this gap and then a whole lap. If the field isn't able to test Hayden Wild's limits, he himself has just done it by this mistake. He still can't believe it. He's adamant. He is convinced.
Yeah.
He is absolutely convinced he's right here.
I wonder if any words are going to be exchanged here between them.
We did not. We're at 76k. Yes. So was I. So you had one lap.
He still doesn't believe it.
He's convinced, you're right, Jan, isn't he? He's absolutely convinced. I mean, such is the presence of Hayden Wild. If you're Sam there and you're hearing him say that, are you worried? Is now Sam starting to doubt himself?
This is such a pivotal moment for either of these guys. They're coming so close to winning the biggest race of their life, and right now we have a dream being taken from one, and we have the lead going to Morgan Pearson. I mean, these two guys are going to be battling hard for this, but this means so much more than just the pass.
That's the move, isn't it?
Quite aggressive coming through there. We can see Mika almost having to take a different step. He's going wider here to take a better line. This is what we signed up for.
Morgan Pearson out in front. These hills, these short inclines are going to be ever more painful as we near the end of this race.
But right now, is that a smile I'm sensing on those lips just for a little bit? He must be pumped.
It's a smile grimace, I think. I think it's equal measures smile, equal measures grimace from what I can see there from Morgan Pearson. But he is right now in front of this race.
The pinnacle of what he has achieved so far, and he will well and truly savor this. It is a great piece of work that he's put together here for, you know, for him, what would have been the perfect race.
And you can only race the race that you're given. Of course, there are mitigating circumstances. The fact that the top three all did an extra lap of the bike course. But I don't think Morgan Pearson is going to be worried about that. When he stands on the top step of the podium, he's won the race fair and square.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is the one thing.
Oh, Morgan Pearson.
No. Mika Noot. No, buddy, you have not won this race. Oh my God, the drama keeps going. Mika Noot, buddy, keep... What is going on here?
We're trying to work this out.
Oh my goodness. Has Morgan Pearson now counted wrong as well?
Mika Noot has...
307? Is that...
We're still just trying to work out exactly what's happened here.
Vincent Louis, he's also convinced he's finished.
Louis.
Oh my God, is this...
Comes home.
Yep. They don't know what's going on, but these guys are congratulating each other.
He's come home in second spot.
Yep.
Wow. So Sam
back on the podium.
Dickinson coming in third, we think.
Jonas Schomburg, he's also there. Top four again, same as last weekend. He's convinced.
But there's Hayden Wild coming home in fifth. And Morgan Pearson might be in for a bit of a shock here when he sees all of his fellow athletes out in front.
And now comes our next finisher. Welcome to the finish line, Morgan Pearson. Welcome, Morgan.
Unfortunately, this afternoon's racing was overshadowed in the men's event by a technology problem that occurred during the run. As a result, following World Triathlon guidelines, we have taken the finish result based on the final point that we had full data, which was on the 7th lap of the run. We're happy to celebrate Morgan Pearson's first win on the T100.
So the women's race gets underway here in Dubai. Our Race to Qatar leader, Kate Woff, in the yellow cap, has the potential here to lay down a marker in this series. A win, and she'll be in control of her destiny come Qatar. But a returning Julie Deron will have something to say about that. A race winner already this year. She's in the red cap. She has the power to beat anyone on her day.
Yeah, about to lead the swim. Will be interesting to see where Julie Deron is. And it looks like Kate Woff on the right there, so really setting herself up and trying to improve, which is all she can do on her score.
Yeah, Jessica Learmonth out in front.
Ladies and gentlemen,
That's then...
let's give it up for our race leader.
That's then Taylor Spivey in second, Kate Woff in third, and Sarah Sala in fourth. And and that's a huge gap, isn't it, to that group behind?
Yeah, absolutely. They looked strong and like they were together, but just as we switched over to the men's race again, we saw Kate actually taking the outside line, looking from the swimmer's perspective, which seemed to be the one that made the difference for Vincent as well. So it's crazy how much the current seemed to play in here. And really, really interesting, also for Lucy Deron's return statement as to where she's going to be coming out of the water.
33 seconds back for Julie Deron, so definitely did very, very well to make that group. Georgia Taylor-Brown just in front of her. That was when they came out the water. Julie Deron out the front of this race. I mentioned, of course, that she had that win in San Francisco this year. Second in Vancouver. So a couple of very, very decent results as Jessica Learmonth goes back into the lead. The lead changing here in Dubai almost every 100, 200 meters or so.
See Georgia Taylor-Brown. Look at this interesting cornering technique. How much further, how much wider Georgia is going to carry more speed. On paper, I couldn't tell you who's going to be the quicker one. Jess, always one to entertain. She doesn't hide the fact that she's suffering from the heat. Cooling herself down with some water.
That she's been back on the T100. She finished 5th in San Francisco, 6th in Vancouver. Sadly, that's a DNF from London. But she is very much feeling at home across the T100 distance.
This is actually interesting because this is Julie taking the lead, and we talked about the mental game earlier on of sitting in and Jess Learmonth really pacing these two ladies. And I wonder if Julie is using this to actually make a move, because that would, to me, make sense in terms of being aggressive towards Kate. I don't know if you saw Kate sitting back. We've seen her kind of, 6-7 seconds off the lead, probably a little bit more than if you were ideally spaced, and really taking, the bull by the horns and taking charge of this race and not just waiting for Jess to chauffeur her into T2.
Nice smooth transitions from both Julie Deron and Jessica Learmonth as the run part of this final part of this women's race gets underway here in Dubai. And we're going to start to understand just how much of an impact that bike leg has had on the legs of these athletes. Kate Woff just arriving just behind.
Look at that, Julie, no socks. That is doing it tough. I mean, it's very traditional to do that in the Olympic distance, but once you start going further than 10Ks, the risk of blisters is just tremendous, especially in these kind of conditions. Lots of sweating, lots of fluid being poured over your head, and all that salt basically goes to your feet. And you want to make sure that you don't get in blisters here, but she is taking charge. Risky but smart transition. I think actually she always does it this way. She's probably used to it. Well, you got to remember she rode in last and she chose to put on socks. And looking at this shot, Jess Learmonth also didn't put on socks, which is risky again. I mean, considering she's had some calf issues and they're all within reach. If it was 17 seconds, that is probably within 10 seconds already.
A run battle here in Dubai that you would think is going to happen in the not too distant future, but Julie Duron is a rapid runner. There's slight question marks about the sort of form that she's in, as I said, given that injury that she's coming back from.
But this is a genuine run battle. They actually both look really good. I think Julie Duron is building back her strength. She's maybe not at the very top of her game, but for her, if Kate keeps herself together, it really stays within her hands. It's just a question of the race to Qatar and what happens in that dynamic, right? Because all of a sudden we have 3 potential favorites with Lucy, with Kate, and with Julie, who, you know, on their best day can really go and shake up the standings. Is looking strong, and a 4-minute deficit to to Jess Learmonth is probably possible, but I'm really hoping that Jess can just stay strong on this one. Kate here is playing it smart. She doesn't look out of breath. She's slowly but surely working her way up there. Looks like we're in for a battle.
Oh, yes, that's good. Very much looking forward to seeing how this one plays out.
Ooh, on that camera angle, however, it doesn't look quite as close as it did. Can really see how she's almost heaving herself up with the arms, just using the cadence set. Strength-based running is definitely something that you can see she excels at. And behind her, it's clear skies for the moment. Nothing but Dubai landmarks.
Yeah, it certainly is. 24 seconds the gap, which just keeps on increasing. So Julie Duron is kind of in a world of her own here. No one can really get near her. And that gap keeps on increasing. 35 seconds now. The difference between her and Kate Woff in second spot. She does look really good here, doesn't she, Jan? I mean, she doesn't look like she's remotely suffering.
Actually, being dry would probably be more comfortable, because at least, you know, your perspiration, which is the body's natural way of cooling down, still works. That's the problem in humidity, is that you're just running in your own sweat and nothing evaporates, and therefore there's no cooling. All these suits are designed for water to evaporate quickly, which causes a cooling effect. And I must say, so far, Jess is holding really, really strong for where she has been with her struggles in the heat. Early days, I do get it, but fingers crossed. You know, she is actually, Georgia Taylor-Brown has made up some time early on, but right now that gap has been holding steady at around 3 minutes for quite a while. And yeah, if anything, I think Jess may be rewarded for her absolutely insane ride.
If you're some of the other athletes here witnessing what Julie's doing, I mean, I guess perhaps Kate Woff is an exception, perhaps even Jessica Learmonth is a bit of an exception, but you're witnessing an athlete come back after injury and just make this look so easy. It must have an effect of firing you up, right? And really going, hold the minute. Julie is making this look so easy.
Of her heart rate and everybody else seemingly a little bit more controlled. You see what I mean here? If you compare the running style, Georgia, oh, no. Sarah Perez Sala right there, having pulled off the course. Well, she hasn't technically pulled off the course, but she does seem to be paying for her efforts.
And there's no point in overcooking it now. At this point in the season, you want to make sure you arrive in Qatar in the best possible shape you can.
That's easy to say for us sitting here in an air-conditioned office container. I just think there is not that much rationale. If we've learned anything from the men's race, it's emotional, and it's something that is a split-second decision. Right here, right now, you're trying to get to that finish line and keep yourself in as much shape as possible. She was trying to improve on an already good situation. She was really just trying to get a few extra points to cushion and play for some sort of safety, as well as a $25,000 prize purse. But or sorry, winner's check, I should say. It's a $250,000 prize purse. And yeah, I think that's just one of those situations where she would have gone into Qatar not wanting to take a chance anyways, but going for the win.
Julie Duron here enters the blue carpet. You can see how much this means to her. It's been an absolutely relentless performance, returning to the T100 since London. She wins here in Dubai, and her second win on the T100.
And yeah, she's gone straight out of shot. There she is.
You can tell how good she feels because she because she has the energy to go and find her mum. Extraordinary.
It's been a strong, valiant effort. It wasn't quite good enough for Julie Duron, but she comes in here wondering where her mind is at. She is happy to be done as we get another epic shot of the Burj Khalifa in the background. Well done, Kate Woff, second place, getting hugs from Julie Duron, first up. Great swim, super aggressive on the bike, and she gets rewarded with another podium position. She is elated as we get another finishing shot, making sure she stops her watch, looking around, and bringing the Jess Learmonth energy to the finish line. Oh, as we see the little man coming in. What a shared, beautiful shot. Mum's the hero, and she's certainly my hero, coming out, having a fair bit of extra on her plate compared to the other ladies.
So away we go for one final time in 2025, the race to Qatar. And we saw the athletes coming out pretty gingerly from the first lap. I wonder what we're going to see here on the second lap. They got used to it there, and yeah, a little bit quicker there from Lucy Charles-Barclay, who's out in front. Jessica Learmonth in second, Kate Woff in third. In the baking heat, it has to be said, here in Qatar, and Kate Woff there passing Jessica Learmonth, choosing to run this a little bit quicker.
And we've got Kate Woff right in front of us. She sprinted out of the swim. She has done a super smooth transition, taking the bull by the horns. First out of transition, absolutely flying, willing to create a gap. Sarah Perez-Sala is out second. Lucy Charles-Barclay, Jess Learmonth, and Georgia Taylor-Brown. That is a serious powertrain on the bike that's going to make it extremely difficult. We've got Julie Duron right in front of us. She is eager to get on that bike, fumbling slightly with her suit. It's all got to go in the box, trying to avoid any penalties. Super smooth, smooth as fast, as she's going to try and make her way by herself, try and chase these ladies.
1:36, the time of her transition. That was, well, 6 seconds quicker than the likes of Holly Lawrence, quite a bit quicker than the likes of Jess Learmonth as well. Significantly quicker than Lucy Charles-Barclay, who did it in 1:52.
And oh my God, look at that bottle just balancing off the back. She can't see this, but another bump and she's going to lose that bottle.
Yeah, and you were right. That bottle right at the very top of that bottle cage has finally bitten the bullet and has come off. And it will remain to be seen if it's water, if it's nutrition. But that's not an ideal situation to be in, is it, for Lucy? And as if by magic, there she is, passing Kate Woff out on the course to move into second spot here.
Is the way to get those kind of strength intervals going, because it's just such an essential part. Strength endurance is really what makes or breaks a triathlete.
Well, that is Ellie Salthouse there, just overtaking Julie Duron. The race to Qatar standings as it stands. If Lucy Charles-Barclay is to win this race, she will finish on 174 points, ahead of Kate Woff on 169 and Julie Duron on 149 points.
My guess is somewhere low 80s. And yeah, whoa, there comes someone flying by. That's Lucy Byram.
Yeah, wow. So Lucy was quite a way down out the swim, and as obviously
she was with Ash Gentle.
Yeah, she was. I'm just going to get that up now. Yeah, she.
Oh wow, what's going on here? Off and first, no one making any mistakes. Oh, Lucy very timid off the bike there. She would have definitely lost a few seconds to Kate Woff. She actually came to a full stop, whereas Kate Woff jumped off her bike. See these athletes ripping off their helmets, putting on their shoes. Easy does it. And some ice water. Kate is off. And now start the time.
And that's fascinating, isn't it? Kate Woff
5 seconds.
Well in front, and we were talking about the gaps. 10 seconds at one point out on the bike course, and right now she's building a huge lead over Lucy Charles-Barclay. Wow. Some athletes making the transition look smoother than others. We can have a look here at Jessica Learmont coming in, and she was just wobbling around a little bit, wasn't she? And the bike goes on the floor. And that's Julie Duron, neck and neck there with Lucy Byron. So this is where Julie Duron needs a smooth transition if she's going to catch up to Kate Woff and Lucy Charles-Barclay at the front. This is really, really critical that she's able to make this as smooth as possible, and that's quick. Really interesting, looking at Lucy Charles-Barclay is dropping back here, 57 seconds back from Kate Woff. That's really started to extend, and you would say Kate Woff is running at her pace. Julie Duron has not been able to make many inroads in that at all. But it looks like Lucy Charles-Barclay is dropping back here, and I just wonder, is that the beginning of the end for her World Championship challenge here in Qatar?
At 12 kilometers to go, a minute is only 5 seconds per K. So it's definitely within the realm.
Last count I had, a minute that Kate Woff is in front of Lucy Charles-Barclay. And that gap to Julie Duron is sticking around 1 minute 40. It's stubbornly not coming down. Just in the back of shot there, you can see the running of Julie Duron and Georgia Taylor-Brown, who is stuck with Julie Duron here. It's fair to say. It looked like she might be leaving her for dust, but that has not happened. Georgia Taylor-Brown, a fantastic runner, a winner last weekend in Bahrain. She also won another race in Phuket as well, and whilst not the strength of field that we're used to in the T100, and that's the pass. That is the pass there from Julie Duron and Georgia Taylor-Brown, who both get out in front of Lucy Charles-Barclay, who is slowing down here. But that might just be that for Lucy Charles-Barclay, unless she can claw back something else. As things stand, Kate Woff would still win the overall Race to Qatar standings. She would be crowned our T100 World Champion. But that time is going down. It was hovering around the 1 minute 40 for quite a considerable period at the start of this run leg, but we've got 7.5 kilometers left. 1 minute 17 seconds between Kate Woff and Julie Duron. Oh, yeah, and this is going to be tight, isn't it? The pace difference, which is pretty much neck and neck, just goes to show how tight this battle is.
And we hear the bell lap. Let's call this the wild bell.
That will be the best noise that Kate Woff has heard all day. I can absolutely guarantee you of that. So, one final lap here in Qatar between Kate Woff and her first T100 world title.
And this is the thing that I was trying to mention, because if Georgia helps her to get across, is she going again? Or is this almost looks like the same move? On a slight uphill, Georgia is putting some time in and really making sure that if she goes by herself.
Okay, so Kate Woff here. One final look, I think, over her shoulder to check exactly where Georgia Taylor-Brown is. It's been a record-breaking year for her, having won in Singapore with the biggest gap we've ever had in a T100 race.
Starting with the highest of highs, and it was a surprise. We didn't know what to expect, and here she is finishing with the highest of highs. Enjoy it as you touch the blue carpet. This is your moment, your first ever World Championship. Kate Woff, what a season, what a race, and what a way to get your first ever title. Oh my God, she's struggling to hold it all in. Oh my goodness.
Wow. Goodness me. Kate coming over the finish line.
Oh my goodness.
Any second now. She is our T100 World Champion. Kate Woff, take a bow. And we're just starting to see exactly the effort that she has put in today onto the course, and goodness me, that right there is there for all to see, because just goes to show Jan the effort, the amazing endeavour that these athletes go on to do, as Georgia Taylor-Brown crosses the finish line in second.
And you can see Kate Woff, she has given her everything. She is on the floor, she has destroyed that finish line. Could not have come any sooner. If this would have been another kilometer, I think things could have looked very, very differently. She kept it together. I think she had some stomach issues. She almost looked like we were going to see her nutrition again. Thank you for holding it all together and having yourself a frameable first ever World Championship photo. As we see Julie Duran coming in, finishing off strong.
So third place there for Julie Duran. She will take her spot onto the T100 podium. Not to be for the World Championship today, but she gave it her best. She was a massive factor in this race. So good to see Kate up and about. I think it's going to take her a little while to perhaps dare say we use the word digest, to digest what's just happened. So Ellie Salthouse crosses the line in 4th spot. As you can hear from the announcer there, that matches her best result of the season, 4th in Australia. And for Lucy Charles-Barclay, well, not to be today for her, sadly. She's given us an amazing season on the T100. So this is it, away we go here in Qatar, the final race of the 2025 season. 100 kilometres stands between Hayden Wilde and taking the top prize here, becoming the T100 World Champion. He's been close to faultless all year, returning from a bike crash that could have finished his career, let alone his season, but pressure does funny things to people, and this is the ultimate pressure. Out come our male athletes from this De Boer swim course, learning the lessons perhaps of the exit from the first lap, gingerly getting their way out onto the blue carpet. They're going to make their way 285 metres down onto there, and they're going to get their first look now at the order, as I think that's Morgan Pearson, is it, just out in front?
Way out, Samuel Dickinson, Vincent Louis, everybody's here. Let's see who's got the quickest transition. We have got Jelle Geens. He has just arrived at his bike. Smooth transition. Be quick. Morgan Pearson is out. We have got Samuel Dickinson out. And Jelle is right here. Quick look. Out there. Go get him, buddy. Rico Bogan having a terrible swim by his standards. Oh, Mika Nude also tough. And this is some serious bike power. Hayden Wilde coming through, looking smooth. Putting on his helmet, and he has got a look of determination on his face. He's put some ice down his chest. Boom, in last, out first. This man is not messing around. He is looking for a world title, and I have a feeling he's going to make this his day.
That's Jelle Geens, of course, currently in the lead of the race. Oh.
Nope.
Was in the lead.
God, that's Hayden Wilde coming through like
oh wow,
like he's sitting on a motorbike.
There we go. So Hayden Wilde, like a steam train, coming through and taking the lead of this race. Certainly caught me by surprise. Don't know if that caught Jelle by surprise as well.
Oh, what happened? Oh, yeah, you could just see there was just a little bit of sand. It just slipped on the front wheel, and oh, that's one of those adrenaline situations. It looks like his shoulder took most of the impact. His suit seems fine, which is probably the thing that worries you most, because the thing is, on the adrenaline, you don't really feel the pain as much, but on the run, it kind of tends to make itself noticeable. The champion that he is doesn't even rub off the dirt. You can see on his calf, he's still got a bit of, I hope that's dirt. But it looks like, yeah, he's just taken a bit of graze. He's so aware of the space around him that it really is the mark of a champion. Like, he's concentrated, he's focused on executing,
And let's be very honest here. He's gotten himself to this point before and fallen short. You can see the rubber band bouncing off the back, which is what his back shoe was tied up with. Difficult in the light, obviously, but yeah, they are those small mechanical things. Saw Rico come off. There is so much there, but he is mitigating those risks by being within his own. He's not going off the front, even though I think he has the capability to. Let's see if he does later on. He's kind of said he hasn't pushed out his best bike performance just yet. But yeah, little glance. Cool cat, he's controlled. Little bunny hop from Hayden Wild as he takes it in. Man, when you're playing, when you're having fun, it's hard to avoid success. I know I've said it before, but it is just so true. This guy coming on, bringing the fun. Even the little aero tuck, the last couple of meters before the red dismount line.
Smooth
it's
as you
all
like.
attention, yeah, all attention to detail as he pushes his bike back to the very first slot of this transition 2. Smooth, straight in, helmet off, socks on. Hayden, shoes on. He's got some sort of tag stuck on his head. It was obviously a new helmet. The price tag must have still been on there.
This is Jelle Heens coming in to the final stretch of this bike course. We'll get our timings here to know exactly the task he has at hand. It's a mighty task. We'll see exactly what Jelle's got left in the tank. I'm sure he'll be a little bit disappointed to be over 2 minutes back to Hayden Wild, but there's still very much in his power if he can get a good transition here, nice and smooth. He's got to be in it to win it.
Yeah, you think at this stage he's fighting for podium, but you know there are still some decent runners up ahead of him. 2.5 minutes almost, 2:20. So it looks like Sam and Jonas have actually caught up to Jelle just before the transition.
So it's a really good spot, Jan.
Oh,
he goes
What's he
back.
lost? Oh, that's not what you want.
Running the wrong way down the course. There we go. Gets handed it by the official. So no penalty there for Morgan Pearson. Very smart racing. Better to spend a couple of seconds going back than being slammed with a minute penalty. As Mathis Margerier, Martin Van Riel and Mickey Newt kind of found a rhythm here, haven't they, all together? Rico Bogan there just in the background. He's just ahead of them. Well, that's the overtake, isn't it? You saw right there, Morgan Pearson moving up into 6th position ahead of Jelle Heens. And Jelle, really the man at the start of the day, you would have put your money on to be the one who was going to take the battle to Hayden Wild. Hayden, of course, knowing that a win, a podium in fact, would be enough for him to take home the overall T100 World Championship.
And I mean, Jelle almost incredulously checked his watch to make sure the pace is on, if it's just his feeling or if he's moving. Gotta remember, Morgan went back to get, I assume, his glasses or a gel, or I couldn't quite see what it was. Great to see Mathis back on that sort of form where he's actually able to do a solid enough race that he's fighting within podium contentions. Oh no. But Morgan Pearson, once again, showing his class and his form as he's about to catch up to these guys.
There he goes.
And this will be interesting. This will be interesting, because I don't think he's going to sit on for too long.
So Morgan Pearson there has got Rico Bogan in his sights, Martin Van Riel, Mickey Newt. And that is Mathis Margerier just at the front there. And this move is going to put him from 6th, potentially all the way up into 2nd position. He's going to hear the bell any second now.
As we see Mathis getting dropped. Pace is on. It looks like his fight for the podium may just be over.
She's been cool, calm and collected all year on the T100. The man has come back from the brink, it's fair to say.
that injury, being knocked off his bike in Japan. He's a superhero, a superhuman effort from this Kiwi athlete. Hayden Wild, our T100 world champion.
Love your work, Hayden. That is awesome. You have done it. You have broken the spirits. You are no longer second. This is your first ever world title.
Well, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. He really does have the run power to challenge Hayden. Just going to show how much he's managed to catch up to him here. But he's on the blue carpet. Morgan Pearson's second place here in Qatar. Well done, Morgan.
What a season for him as well. He's built into his form. You speak about his bike, but his bike is improved. And it's getting there one step at a time. At least a somewhat amicable finish to the season. He's had tough ups and downs, but a podium is always nice, and it's great to see the man smiling, honestly. He deserves somebody throw some green stuff in his face, just as a symbol to his season. Positive energy to finish it all off on. Reset. Mika Nuut, super happy with his finish. 4th place. As we see Mathis Margier with another rock-solid performance. Top 5, rounding it out, coming in and finishing a long, tough season.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up to our 3 medalists.